we were living together, and my biggest advantage was that we were right there. We were friends, so we shared tips back and forth with each other that eventually, made our sound better. I think Ben's mixer evolved a lot quicker because he's talking like Suffotronic and all those guys. But still, I was just talking to my friends and creating relationships and feeding off their energy and feeding off their knowledge. So talk to people, definitely the number one.
Yeah, and I mean, the thing is, if you have under 500 followers, like any producer I've ever fucking met that had 500 followers, like they're just thirsty for people to hear their music, basically, dude. So if you go to someone's page and you actually like their music, let them know that you fucking like their music. Try to send them a message. These are the people that are gonna be hitting you fucking back like almost instantly, sitting at their computer just waiting for someone to fucking like their song.
Going and reloading their Soundcloud 20 times a day.
Exactly.
In a minute.
But that's good though, because you got to understand is kind of think of it like a tier system. A lot of bigger record labels have this thing. They have a tier system. You got to realize that you're not a fucking big producer right now. More than if you're watching this, you're probably not a big producer. And that's good. Like that's fine.
I don't think any of us are.
Yeah, I'm not even a big producer. I mean, some people think that I am. I am nowhere even close to being a big producer. You know what I mean? But still, you got to remember, keep it within. I would say a couple thousand followers. Like, what I mean?
Here's another thing. Like, anyone who's below 2,000 followers is more apt to have a conversation with you, because if you think about it, at that point, when you have below 2,000 followers, not everybody's going to be hitting you up about your music. There's just a lot of, entry-level kids who think, like, you're a god because you even have 2,000 followers. The thing is that those guys, right, they're not going to hit you up all the time. I remember when I was getting hit all the time, but this was like more where I got closer to 2K and then after 2K. So my whole point with that is just talk to anybody within that range, because what's going to happen is if you land a big collab, you look at their project file, you figure out something that they're doing, you share tips back and forth, and the quality of your sound, not only that, but the relationships you build are what's going to get you beyond that 2,000 mark. It's all about relationships, collaborations, and bettering your sound in the very beginning.
Yeah.
I know like there's some producers within that. It's weird because I know some quality producers that don't even have 1 to 2,000 followers. But I'm not talking about those guys. Those guys been around for a while. But main thing, build relationships. Relationships are going to be very, very valuable for you down the road too, because when we start talking about shows and events and all that stuff, who is really important, and anyone who is out there playing events will tell you that. So let's get into when you're crossing that tier, and you're starting to do like your milestone releases and all that stuff, and maybe talk about a little bit about what the artist union is and what it does and how you could use that to kind of.
Well, yeah, I definitely want to get into that, but before that, I mean, just a few more things for the really little guys. Like, just remember, the best thing that you could be doing if you're a small producer is be on fucking SoundCloud and be listening to fucking music. Yeah. Okay? Yeah. Don't be a fucking NEMS and just spam the fuck out of people with invites and shit. Because even if they do follow you back, those people are probably just follow for follow. They don't actually give a fuck about your music, okay? Yeah. And that's what you gotta understand.
Yeah, comment on everyone's shit.
Exactly. No, yeah, don't comment on everyone's shit. If you...
But be genuine about it.
Well, exactly.
On everyone's
like,
shit,
you can listen to people...
That's how people discover.
And if you don't necessarily like the tune, if you could see a potential in them or something, then yeah, I would communicate with them. You know what I'm saying? But don't just go spamming fucking house producers and fucking trap producers with dubstep shit, okay? And it's just the bottom line. And if you do this, I guarantee, your follower number will rise, but people are just gonna fucking hate you, dude. Just don't do it. And you're gonna get a lot of negative feedback too. Like, you're gonna have people talking shit on your tracks because they're in your fucking followers, but they don't like your music. Like, you don't want that. You know what I mean? So just get out there, find producers that are in your same level, and reach out to them, let them know that you enjoy them. Don't be the guy that's like, hey, bro, let's fucking collab the first time you ever see them. Like, say anything to them.
You want to build a relationship first, because that's one thing that I noticed. Throughout my whole freaking upcoming with Rilla, I'm currently at 2,300 followers, but here's the thing, that's my second time getting to 2,300 followers under my current artistry. But aside from that, I had to tickle my own asshole there for a second. Big myself up, but anyways, aside from that, man, is build your relationships genuinely. My whole point to saying I only did under 10 collabs is that I don't trust people with my project files, but that's simply because of something that happened. You ever remember when Suffotronics patches got leaked?
Yeah.
And everyone just started using that sound. You don't want to so you want to build your relationship so people feel confident enough to send you their music, their patches, if it isn't stems. The benefit about collaborating is that when they post your music, when they post your music, they're posting it to their fans, so their fans ultimately hear it and see you in the title. Oh, and in that description box, make sure that your SoundCloud, your Facebook gets put on there by the artist that you collaborated with, because it's kind of shitty if they don't do that. It kind of takes away from your potential following. But one thing that Dre was going to talk about is how in the beginning you should be giving away everything for free.
Yeah. Basically, dude, I understand the whole dub plate thing. I do. Let me tell you something right now. I don't have any fucking dub plates to send anybody, dude. And people are like, why, dude? That doesn't make any sense. Well, the thing is, dude, is people fucking don't pay money to download music anymore, okay? And not until you're fucking big playing festivals and shit. You're not going to see a goddamn dime from that, because most of these, websites, these people will be on the top 100 chart for dubstep, and they won't even get a check because they have to hit, $50 to $100 before they even get paid, and they don't.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
You got that tier system. I remember, so if you guys go on Facebook and look up Sub Felony Records, that's a label that I started. And it's funny because that is true, I know for me to do any payouts as a label, I had to reach over 100, what was it? I don't even think it was US. I think it was 100 pounds, 100, European dollars, before I even got a payout, so in the beginning you're not going to be profiting. So what's the whole point? Another thing about dub plates is this: if you're starting off as an artist and you're trying to get dub plates, trying to have dub plates and have exclusives, I want you to think about it like this: you're trying to send out these dub plates to people who have a bigger following than you. Usually that's what happens. That's the way I am. I hold my dub plates and I send it to bigger artists. But here's the thing: what's the chance that artist is gonna go check out that music and then play it out of the thousands of songs that they have, right? Because you're a beginner producer. Your sound isn't 100% quality, and now you're trying to send this tune off to someone to potentially play it. Okay, now let's say they do play it, right? They play your track out. There's a flaw.
You get to post a video on Facebook, and that's all people will ever know about it.
Well, exactly. I mean, and that's if you're at that show.
Nobody at the show is gonna know, hey, I know who this person is. Maybe 2 fucking people, 3 fucking people. You know what I mean? But,
exactly. But here's the thing, right? Is that they send it to these artists, and exactly as you said, they expect them to play it out at the show, and even if they do, if you're not at the show to get video on your own, what is the chances that somebody else in that show is going to record that segment and include that segment of a song that they don't even know, of the artist dropping a song that they don't even know that's not that high of quality, right? Yep. So you're not getting credit when the crowd hears this tune. So you shouldn't even care about dub plates at this point, as a beginner follower. Nobody knows about you. Bottom line fact, right? I only have 2,300 followers and a few other people that know about me. I'm going back to giving all my stuff away for the same reason. There's not people that know about me. So I rather be able to take control of that by giving away my music and using download gates to maximize the people who are seeing it, and when they do see it, they see your name by it.
Yeah.
You know, and they get access to your Facebook and your SoundCloud, so you can funnel them into your following. You know, so that's another thing. You know, people, I know I pass by. Here's another flaw: is that you expect for people to listen to your track when in the title, in parentheses, you do what I do, right? And you put preview. Okay, so first of all, there isn't a download link. The person who potentially sees that probably doesn't know about you. So they see preview. I don't have access to this song. I don't know who the producer is. More than likely, even if you come up on somebody's feed who doesn't know you, they're just passing by it. So they don't even care about, you know, oh, what's this artist potentially putting out? So here's the thing. Why not bypass that by putting free download? People see free download. I know when I see free download, I'm like, what's this? Is this a quality song? Do I want this? Do I want to play it out? Because let's be real about it. A lot of the people who are following you are DJs themselves. The saying is, everybody's a DJ. So why not put free download, give it all away, and introduce a potential DJ who's going to play your music out, and then, because you're using the download gate, reshare your profile, follow you, and comment on your track. Like, using the download gate is going to maximize them sharing it on the social platform. And then when they do download it to play it out, you know, you got the crowd in the show hearing it several times. So somebody might come up to this DJ every time he plays it like, what's that song? You play it every show, you know, because they really enjoy your stuff at this point, and then you start building a following. That's the key point in the beginning. Build the following.
Here, I'm going to turn this mic up a little bit. It seems like we're still getting a little bit of a quiet mix there. Check 1 2. Just get that up a little bit more. That should be better.
So now that
But yeah, basically the breakdown of all of that is this. Plates aren't necessarily a bad thing. They're not, you know, because if a producer does like the song and they play it out, that's good. But here's what you got to realize. It's like you have two decisions. You can either make it a dub plate and take that slim chance that someone is actually going to, you know, play it out and, you know, like your music more. However, I that is a good thing, but it's kind of a gamble. I prefer the safer approach, which is the free download approach.
Yeah.
And the reason is if you're that small, you need to focus on building up your numbers a little bit, especially if you do want to get bookings and stuff later on. Promoters look at those things. They do. I mean, you know, and it's important to keep it genuine, and basically all the download gates really do is help keep your fans engaged with your page.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, man, is if someone is taking the time to download your song, they like the song and they want the song. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
There's no reason for them to not be following at that point. You
exactly.
know what I mean?
If they're getting your music, as Dre says, you know, they're not paying for the music, so they might as well pay you by following you and engaging with you.
And let's, you know, and I would recommend even, you know, because some people aren't going to want to follow your page because they might only like that one song and they don't like the particular genre. In instances like that, I would say that you could probably put like a little thing in your description of the track saying if you don't want to follow me and you'd still like to download it, hit me up and, you know, I can provide you with a link. Because at that point, you can kind of start to build a little bit of a relationship with them, and you might be able to win them over, basically.
Exactly. And you know what? That's a good one. I'm going to start using that one because I ain't really quite think about that one. But that one's smart. You know, going back to what were you just saying about, you just covered a few things. There was something I wanted to touch on about what you said. You might just want to turn that up. Just turn it up. Don't be afraid, because I see where it's registering.
It's all the way up. Yeah, it is.
Okay, so anyway, jumping back into this, he was talking about having a following, and then you know, what were you saying about? Anyways, let's move on then. If I can't remember.
Well, no, like if the person doesn't necessarily want to follow you to download the song, just, you know, put it in the section that you can provide them with the link if they don't want to, and that way you're at least making communication with them. If they do take the time to reach out to you, you can get back, and once I feel like once people like you, they tend to like your music a little bit more.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
You know what I was saying? Like, let's be honest. Music is subjective, and sometimes an image that you have of someone can affect what you ultimately think of the music.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, there's another thing that I'd like to touch base with for the little guys. One of the most important things is going to be branding.
I know what I was going to say. And we could talk, actually, let's rewind a little bit, and then, because this perfectly opens up into what you're talking about, or what you're getting ready to talk about, which is branding. And you know what? Move over. Let me get closer to the mic, because I know this is low. But anyways, with what he was saying about, what you want to focus on in the beginning is building your following. Think about it this way. Think about it on a business standpoint, right? You go out, you market your product. You market what you have to offer to people. You market, let's say you're just marketing the logo. You don't market what you have to offer to people, and people aren't hearing you, right? Well, here's the bottom line. Nobody's hearing you. A company wouldn't go out there, open up a company if they didn't have a product or a service to give you. So, they wouldn't go open it up without the product or service, but they also wouldn't open up other stores without having a bigger clientele. Because if you don't have, a demand, you don't have people who want your product, what's the whole point in going out there and, giving away, trying to offer people dub plates, offering people, so pretty much look at it this way, you're a salesman when it comes down to music, right? You're a salesman in the perspective that you got to go out there and hand people your music and sell them on the fact that you're a good artist and you should have my music, right? You should play my music, right? So here's the issue. If you don't have any followers, how much harder is it going to be to target people, to target a good niche group of people who might actually be into what you have to offer to them? So go out there and build your following first. The following is very, very important, Without the following, your brand doesn't even matter because nobody sees you, so you don't have a brand. If nobody knows who you are, you don't have a brand. And, Wizkerz is getting ready to jump into talking about having a brand, etc. And I do have one thing to say about your brand. First of all, go ahead, and then we'll talk about what your brand actually is.
Okay. First of all, when you're thinking of brand, there's some artists that have done this successfully, but sometimes when you have a hard name to pronounce or something like that, it can be a little bit hard to brand your particular name. People that usually have harder names to pronounce and stuff, if they want to have a successful branding campaign, they're going to need to kind of have like a hashtag something and like create a fucking logo like Kill the Ego does for that fucking Run DMC or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Because the problem is it's going to be hard to brand if people don't know how to say your name.
You don't want to be also, when you're a part of having a brand is having your logo and your image set right, because your image, the perspective of you as an artist is very important. That's a part of your brand. But here's the thing, don't be that guy who has like the fucking death metal of fucking dubstep logo that's hard as fuck to read. I don't know if that's something that bugs the shit out of you. Yeah. But go ahead.
By the way, guys, I just want you to know, if you do have any questions as we're going, we will do like a question section at the end once we're done with everything, if you guys want to ask any questions. So going on with branding, this is why, going back to what we were saying earlier, you want to make sure your followers on SoundCloud are genuine, because we're going to start going into reach now. Yeah. What is reach? I mean, how are you getting the numbers that you're getting? Why is that happening?
You know what? Before we even jump into that, I want to talk about your brand. Because your brand is actually really important when it comes down to it. Okay, so let's break down what a brand is, because everybody, it doesn't matter what you do. You don't have to be an artist. You don't have to own a business. You don't have to go out there and, you don't have to own something to have a brand. You are a brand. You know, okay, so what is your brand? Your brand is pretty much going to be everything, everything and anything that anybody has ever thought about you is your brand. And the reason I want to talk about this is because we have people out there, i.e., let's talk about Nems. He's a fucking spammer. So when you think about Nems, what do you get? What is his brand? His brand is spammer, cunt. You know, nobody likes him. He did this. He's done that. That is his brand. That is who he marketed himself to be. You know, as an artist, as a label owner, as he, you know, I guess if you want to use that. Your brand is everything and anything you do. Not only that, the people you associate yourself with.
It's your overall image,
yeah,
essentially.
Exactly.
Because you need to think of it like this. For example, Wizkerz, most people will say it's an artist, but to a businessman would say it's a product. You know what I mean? Like, that is a product.
Doppelganger, you're bringing up a lot of points which we are going to talk about. That's going to be one of the parts that I talk about is Facebook SEO and SoundCloud SEO and how Google Hummingbird has affected SEO. And your reach on SoundCloud and how you get seen, you know, because that's really important. We're going to give you some good tips on that, so just stand by. We're just going to crawl through little things and then eventually lead up to there.
So, going on to branding, the first thing that you need to do when branding is, it's not necessarily, like, once your music's at that point where you know it's fucking quality and you've been stagnant for a while, but you know your fucking music's ready kind of for the next level. You know what I mean? That's kind of when your brand is exactly, and that's why your followers is going to be important, that they're genuine, because you, especially at first, the reach that you do get is very limited. Say you have 500 followers and you post a song. Mm-hmm. If your followers are not genuine fans, are they? You know what I mean?
You know what? That you also don't want to have fake followers, because here's the thing. That also affects your SEO. It also affects, you know, exactly, Doppelganger, what you were talking about. It affects how you're seen on social media platforms. It affects your SoundCloud reach. It affects your Facebook reach, whether or not you're a post that's seen, whether or not your friends see you. If your accounts have any fake followers, it's nothing that benefits you at all. And I'll talk about that in a minute, about SEO. But if you're an artist who already has a good quality sound, the two biggest things you're going to want to do is have, again, as he said, genuine followers. But you also want to have, you know, a good brand. A good image, you know. Let's say that you fucked up in the past, you know. You were this shit-eating cunt, kind of like Nems is, right? We keep on using Nems. I think that's going to be like a theme tonight. But anyways, like you fucked up like Nems has. If I was Nems and I wanted to come back as a serious producer,
I would first of all change my name.
10 years goes by and he's fucking a sick producer, but the only people he knows to reach out to is the same old people who knew him from the dubstep scene, right? So let's say he blows up. What he's gonna have to do is change his artist name, first of all, get a new logo, and never post any of his personal pictures up, and stop the crap that he was doing. So he's gonna have to rebrand himself, you know, and then start building a genuine following. You know, and those are the first steps, and then start building the relationships and everything that we had said before.
Yeah, and going back to what I was saying, so the reason why that it is important, though, is the reach that you have is very limited, and you want to make sure that the people that do have the opportunity to see it are people that actually want to see it. Yeah. That's what it gets down to, because if the people that are seeing your content don't want to see your content, you're wasting your potential, basically.
Not only that, let's talk. You know, here I'm gonna lay down. You know, in this, I guess we now have to go into SEO, because if I talk about this later, it's gonna fuck it up. But let's talk about Google Hummingbird for a second. For those of you guys that don't know about marketing or SEO, I'm about to break it down to you really quickly. So what SEO is search engine optimization. You have search engines like Google, for instance. When you type your artist name on Google, right? Are you the first person that comes up, or are you like way at the bottom? Or are you on the second page where you're pretty much like you're fucked? Because the best place to hide a body is the second page on Google, to be honest with you. You're not going to be seen if you're on the second page of Google. Okay, so here's the thing. With SEO Hummingbird, what Google has done, starting in like I think it was late 2012 when they released it, or whenever they released it, is that they tweaked the algorithm as to how your page gets ranked. And the reason you don't want to have fake followers is for this reason right here. When your account has a following, and Google checks into these accounts, the way that you get ranked on Google when somebody's looking for your artist name works like this. So somebody searches you up. Google's going to scan through all the websites that they have, you know, and they're going to see which one of these websites have, A, the best keywords, right, that are regarding around your niche. So let's say your artist name is Rilla. My artist name is Rilla. But you want to, there's like a million other rappers, right? Because I noticed that my artist name is associated with rap as well. So when people look up Rilla and dubstep, the person that comes up is me. And you could test this right now, but the reason why is because of these facts right here. I have all my social media pages talking back and forth to each other. So on my Facebook, you'll find my Soundcloud link, you'll find my Facebook link. All the stuff from these other social websites are talking to each other. What that's called is that's called just having your social media platforms all tied into each other. But now we want to talk about backlinks. What backlinks are when you share your song, how many other people that isn't your account also share it, how many people like it, how many people engage with that post. And that's the reason right there. Engagement and natural behavior. That's what Google is looking for, right? So when somebody's commenting, Google recognizes that as a ping on your on that kind of keyword, that niche, your niche as an artist, Rilla and dubstep, whatever. What's gonna happen is you start building your site as an authority on the Google search engine platform, which is Hummingbird. So Google is looking for natural interactions, and having fake followers, the more fake followers you have, Google's gonna read every fake follower or every follower that hasn't engaged with you over a period of time, and that's gonna negatively impact your reach, like where you rank on Google. And Google, let's be honest, if you're not using SoundCloud to look up an artist or an artist, if you're looking for dubstep and you happen to put Rilla, I want to be the first person to be seen, because I want people to click on the first link. People click on the first link, so I'll be seen if they do. But that also affects your reach, so that ties into what you were saying.
So yeah, the reason why that's important is you want to make sure the people that are seeing it are people that are going to be liking, reposting, all that stuff. Because that's important. There's people out there that do this really fucking well, and they have 1,000 followers, 1,500 followers, and they get as many likes on a song as I do.
You know what? Let's put it like this. This is what YouTubers do. And this is how YouTubers make money. So if you're a smart person, sort of like myself, I gotta pat myself in the shoulder there. But if you're a smart person, you'll start to realize that, hey, if you have a following and you have something that you genuinely want to share to people, let's say as an artist, you have t-shirts, and they start looking up your stuff and you're ranked #1 and they find you, or the people look up dubstep and somehow you find a way to rank on Google just for the word dubstep and be one of the first pages, and you have t-shirts to sell, you can turn your following into a monetization. You can start making money off your following, but that's way more advanced. Let's not get into that. But natural interaction is key. Go ahead. Can I steal that? I'm going to take your Arizona, bro. I'll pay you $1.
Oh, shit. Okay.
So, keep on going. What were you saying?
Sorry, I'm checking this really quick. Okay. So, fuck, I don't remember what I was saying.
We're talking about, we're still on the smaller guys or whatnot. Let's move it up a little bit to, intermediate guys who are looking for,
Okay, so, break down everything we just said in a couple sentences. What you need to do. find followers, or find people that are just like you, just as big, same musical potential, and interact with them, okay? Become friends with them, befriend them. Don't just ask them for collabs right away, you know, just befriend them, okay? Collabs are great because, especially if you do use these download gates, you automatically have a repost of someone that has the same amount of following as you, so you're already doubling your reach. Not only that, but people that already like that person's music, that haven't heard your music before, they're going to want to come over and follow your stuff. And it's a great way to kind of get that fan base up with people of similar taste and style. Because the thing is as the number gets bigger and bigger, it creates a snowballing effect. And eventually it's just going to keep growing at a lot faster. And it's funny because at first it grows very slow. But as you get bigger, it just gets faster and faster and faster. So it's funny, like I guarantee.
There's a thing about the launch of a company when you go from launching the idea to gaining momentum, and that momentum curve. Usually, if you ever look at the curve of a company, if you ever look at the curve of a company's momentum, typically if they're one of the top leading companies in the world, you'll notice that curve slowly starts, but then as it starts to build, it almost goes straight up fucking vertically. Like, it's fucking insane. And the same thing happens as an artist. You know, once you start gaining that momentum, people start sharing, you're hot, and next thing you know, you got fucking 30,000 followers. I've watched certain artists, you know, like I watched this asshole here go from fucking, what was it, just reaching 3,000 followers, and in a year and a half, he was able to pull off getting another 4,000 followers, and now he's at 8,028 followers. You know, so this guy, he's got some knowledge here.
So yeah, that's important. Another thing that is important is this. Why do you upload such good songs and the people that do listen to it love it, but it's not getting reach? Why? Like, you know, because that's a good question. Why? Well, here's the thing. That's why it ties in. It all ties into this genuine follower base. The reason why that it's not getting the reach that you want it to is because you're not getting those early numbers. When people are going through SoundCloud, what you have to realize is it is a fucking graveyard, basically. Yeah. There is so many people pumping out shitty tunes every day. And the thing is how do people scroll through their stream and find what's worth listening to or not? Oh, what has a lot of comments on it? Oh, what has a lot of likes in a short period of time? Someone's way more likely to click and listen on your song if you have at least 200 likes versus 10. The reason is because they might like you as a person, but subconsciously in their mind they're thinking to themselves, "This is shit."
Sucks.
Exactly. They're like, "Oh God, it's another fucking 13-year-old rhythm producer."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
it's true though.
It is true, and that really hurts. So how do you get that really early reach then? How do you get that really early on? You have a fucking connection with people who are willing to support your music, and you do likewise, because those are the people that are going to really help you get that first boost. Once you get that first boost, again, it'll snowball on its own, but you need to get that first boost. And how it works on SoundCloud is there's actually a system in place. If you get, you're basically in a competition for the first 48 hours with people that have the same tags as you for reach. And people don't actually realize this, but if you have 500 likes.
That's all SEO-based stuff, information right there.
And if you have like 500 likes in 24 hours and everyone else only has 100 likes, you're actually going to be on the top new dubstep trending page on SoundCloud, which is how a lot of people discover their music. And it's hard to do that, but it is possible. I've only done it one time, and it was on that Cocaine track, and that track has gotten twice as much reach as any of my other songs. And that song I don't even really like that song that much. And that's
it's funny. It's always the songs you don't like that blow up.
Yeah, and it's just funny how that works. It's because I got 500 likes in 48 hours, and it got onto that trending page, and then I woke up the next day, and it had like 650, and I was like, what the fuck? Yeah, and it just kept going. And, like, it was literally up to like 1,000 in just a couple, like, not even 2 weeks. So it was good, and I mean it's still growing, which is funny because it passed 1,000. I thought it was gonna like slow down around there, and now it's at 1,400, and I don't know how much more it's gonna grow until then.
Exactly.
And that's why, you know, that was one of the first songs that I started doing this download gate thing with, because I'd done it before with a different platform, but this I've been using the Artist Union now, and I'll get into that here in a little bit, which is I think personally my personal favorite download gate option.
I think towards the end is where we're gonna have more of the chats talking about more of the tools to use and everything and how to use them. But you know, let's jump into intermediate artists, because I know we have a few of them in here where they've got a following, you know, or they've had a following, like my homie and Squalid Squad, you know, but they went on a hiatus for a long time and now they're coming back. You know, for you, Dan, bro, what I recommend in my opinion is, you know, you already started getting your music together. You just told me you're getting your masters back. Big up, man. You know, but what you want to do is reintroduce yourself to your top homies, your top followers in the scene that were the people who were sharing your stuff legitimately before. Now, one thing I want you to notice, bro, or one thing that I want you to know before you even get back, is that a lot of the people you know have changed. A lot of those people have fallen off. But the reason you want to reconnect with them, because I had to do this myself when I came back from deployment, and I was able to grow my following from like 1,200 to, you know, where it's at now in just a little over a year. You know, so reintroduce yourself back to your homies. You know, start working with them, start doing collabs again, start doing all that kind of stuff, and then don't focus on an album release, because it's not really important. A lot of the labels that we used to follow then, a lot of the artists that we know now have more of a following than the labels, so people aren't really focused on label releases and any of that. Also get into this download gate stuff that we're going to be talking about later, and maybe giving away a few tracks as a, you know, as a return, you know, free album, stuff like that, you know. What are some of your tips for somebody that's just coming back after being like 2 years away?
Well, first thing that I think is a good point is getting those collabs going. Even, and especially if you're a new producer too, I think for up until you're up past this point, but collabs are very good early on. And the reason is you're already connecting with somebody into the scene, and everyone you meet is basically, like, think of every person as you meet as their own, like, spiderweb chart, where the person is the middle chart. Like, every person knows all these different people, you know what I mean? And the whole point of networking and how to make it work is if you're collabing with people and they see your name with someone that they like and they talk to, they're much more likely to have a positive image of you and be wanting to work with you. You know what I mean? Much more likely. So you just gotta keep those collabs going.
Yeah. Also, another thing is, homie, is that you've been out for a while, so your brand, according to Facebook, has changed. You haven't been talking about dubstep. You haven't been engaging anyone about dubstep. So one thing that's happened over the last 2 years that you've been away, since the inception of Google Hummingbird, is that now you're not an authority figure out of all of your friends who are talking about dubstep, right? Because let's say that one of your friends often posts about dubstep, and all you post about as well is dubstep. They're gonna be the most. Those are gonna be the people who are most likely seen at the top of your feed when you reload your page. It's gonna be everybody who talks about the things you talk about. So if you talk about football and you got a bunch of dubstep producers, but you only got 50 people who talk about football, you're more likely to see the people who talk about football first, because Facebook is getting more geared towards
it's getting smarter.
Yeah, it's getting smarter essentially. Yeah,
scarier,
you know,
but smarter.
yeah, exactly. So they monitor that. They monitor your posts and stuff like that. So even if it's just for shits and giggles, man, Dan, get back into it and start sharing a shit ton of dubstep. Start talking about dubstep. Start posting links about dubstep. Start doing this about dubstep, or anything, any sort of genre that you're producing, because that's how you get known as an authority figure. We have a lot of producers that like video games and all that, but if you're taking your artistry seriously, just try to make sure that that Facebook recognizes you know, your direction. So post a lot about the content, the relevant content. in relation to your artistry and the direction that you want to move. So if you're a dubstep artist and you want to start transitioning over to trap, well, you want to start posting a lot more about trap and seeing who in your friends, start coming up when they post about trap, and start engaging them about trap music, and start slowly rebranding yourself. And use those systems. Use Google Hummingbird in the way that Facebook has changed its SEO protocol to your benefit.
And that's the most important thing, guys, is just get out there and meet people, you know what I mean? Like, even if it's not in real life, just be friendly and engage with people. Like I said, don't be the guy that the first time you ever message somebody, you just ask them to collab. And I'm okay with it. People do it to me all the time, and I do work with them sometimes, and that's fine because I understand the temptation to want to do that, and if I like their music, that's understandable for me, but a lot of people won't be as generous.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, is that, also tying back into what I was saying about that, is that, let's say you're coming back, and now, you want to see, you want people to see your stuff, right? You want people to see your shit. And this nigga, you wearing your jacket, bro. You look like fucking El Chapo in that
cold.
shot.
I'm cold as shit, dude. I'm cold as shit.
So anyway, so you want people to start seeing you as somebody who has authority within dubstep, right? So you want to start posting relevant content, because if you're not doing that and you're sharing on Facebook, you're not going to get seen. Facebook isn't going to show your page to anybody else that talks about dubstep, because maybe they recognize you talk a lot about fucking bloody tampons or whatever the fuck. So whoever else talks about bloody tampons is more likely to be posted first.
Well, and that's exactly why on Facebook, that's why I just did the whole friend transfer and everything like that, and that's why I'm going to be getting rid of my old account, is because here's the thing. That was the account that I've had since I was 15, 16 years old. So I just have random people from fucking high school that I haven't talked to in 4 fucking years, and I can't even fucking find them because I don't even fucking remember their names or fucking know who's who. Exactly. You know what I mean?
Exactly, because your friends from high school who don't like dubstep aren't coming up in your feed.
Well, here's the thing I could tell you right now is I'm still in the process of getting everyone back, but on my new Facebook page, I only have 450 friends, but I'm already getting and surpassing the reach that I got on my account with over 3,000 friends. And the reason why is because the people that were seeing my post before are probably people that I went to high school with. They're like, oh god, this fucking kid's still making dubstep. But god, dude, what the fuck? You know
and part of that goes into marketing, and a part of what you pay on what you could pay on Facebook is ads. Don't get me wrong, ads are actually very fucking brilliant for Facebook, because Facebook knows their own protocol. So of course they're gonna fucking take your ad and gear it towards all the people that talk about dubstep and shit, right? So it's brilliant to use it. But here's the thing, is that if you don't want to use that shit, at least you gotta be talking and active and talking about fucking. Don't share these stupid memes. Memes fucking hurt you as much as you like them. What's gonna happen is your feed is gonna become literally all fucking memes. That's all you will see. And then when you post your music, if it's not about memes, your face at the start, if you're not consistently posting about it, what'll happen is that it'll show the track to people who don't fucking who just talk about memes predominantly, and they might not be interested. So just start being all about dubstep. How about that? Let's do.
Well, here's the thing: if you really want to do this and you actually want to be successful at it in the long run, you're gonna need to make a commitment to it. It's nothing's gonna happen overnight. This is gonna be right now. I would be if you have under 2,000 followers, I would be saying, how am I gonna be building my brand over the next 3 years? That's basically what you need to be thinking of. You might be the 1 in a million person that wins the fucking Powerball, and you get blown up overnight by fucking Tiesto or some shit. You know what I mean? Yeah. You might get lucky like that, but the truth of the matter is you can't reap the works of your own labor if you haven't done any labor. You know what I mean?
You know, and later on, what we're gonna talk about is doing campaigns. You know, how you can set your after we introduce you guys to these tools that we use. We'll talk about running a campaign and scaling your artistry. You know, what's the 6-month game plan? You know, of a campaign that you should be running, right? So, you know, I know I call mine's like, you know, I always give it a fucking weird name, like 6 months to success. You know, but run yourself some campaigns and stay dedicated to those. So let's. Do you want to jump into some of the things that you use, like the artist union and all that?
Yes, I just forgot one thing. Last thing that I think is important while we're still on SoundCloud, and the last thing that I want to touch on is make sure there's a lot of producers that I know that are very versatile. They like to make a lot of different genres of music, and this has sometimes worked in their favor, but I feel like in the majority of cases, if you're that type of person, don't upload all of it onto the same page. Yeah. And here's why. Especially if you don't have that many followers, you have nothing to gain. There might be some people that really do like it when you make a dubstep tune, but they don't like it when you do a fucking house tune or something like that. And that's going to kill your reach. Because they're not going to be engaging as often or as frequently or be as passionate about the music. So here's the thing. If you like to make different kinds of music, make 3-4 different accounts, different names for those music, and you know, and focus on building that specific brand.
That niche,
and you know, network with people in that niche under that name and stuff like that. You know what I mean? You don't want to do it all on the same account. It doesn't mean that you have to make dubstep every fucking song. You know, I'm the same way. I just haven't really worked on building another project right now for like my more chill stuff because I'm so busy already trying to just promote this one because I'm, you know, trying to get there. But I would eventually like to do a second alias for chill stuff and build it from scratch again, just as like a discount. You know what I mean? But that's later on.
You know, one thing that I noticed that we don't even fucking use is how useful fucking hashtags could be. You know, hashtags are fucking brilliant. You know, for anybody who knows that you could go to your fucking search and click hashtag dubstep, and then you're just gonna get a fucking million fucking things, all relation to dubstep. So if you want a new following, new people, that's also a brilliant way to use it. Because if I go again to my search, hashtag dubstep, and you could do this with me, you're gonna see a whole bunch of things in relation to hashtag dubstep. A bunch of posts that people have posted using
and the nice thing about Facebook though is when you actually type in hashtag dubstep, you're actually, if you scroll up here, go all the way to the top, you'll notice you'll actually see posts from friends in groups first, and you can select that own separate category, so you can see exactly what just your friends and in groups that you're affiliated with are saying about dubstep. It's crazy because if someone decides to look at this and you're in their friends, they're actually way more likely to see it too. So it's hashtags are good, and that's why all the big Viners, YouTubers, and everything fucking use them. It's because it's good, and it's a good way to be discovered.
You know, and I know I'm guilty for not using them. You know, I don't really use hashtags myself, but it's something I'm gonna start implementing. But once you'll notice, it's like, you know, the way we share our shit, the way we specifically tailor our tags to. And, you know, it's literally, you want this to be seen on every platform for every person that looks up. Let's say somebody looks up fucking Gorilla dubstep 140 BPM bass music, which I'll actually, you know, I'll give this a try on Dre's computer on SoundCloud. More than likely, even though it's Gorilla, the fact that it has Rilla dubstep and all these tags that I used in the past, if there is an artist named Gorilla that isn't using the fucking hashtag Gorilla or putting it in their tags, I'm gonna show up before them. So, you know, so for the people who are looking for another artist, right, but they end up seeing your stuff and accidentally click on your page thinking it's the artist they like, you know, this is the kind of shit that, you know, people discover you. That's how people discover you, pretty much in a nutshell. And go ahead and let's try that. Put in Gorilla dubstep. Let's see if I come up. Mind you, this isn't Gorilla.
On your tracks. Alright,
so let's scroll down a little bit. There is an artist called that, and his hashtags are more tailored to his, you know, and that's cool. All right, now let's try bass music. There you go. Wait, no, not one of mine. So I don't show up. Apparently, I got to do a bit more of a better job at tailoring my tags to be found for Gorilla Dubstep. But let's try 140 BPM. Put that after Gorilla Dubstep. I'm not sure if you're sharing screen, but
yeah.
I know I put 140 BPM often in my tags, so Gorilla Dubstep, it's more likely to come up. Nah, nothing. You know, so apparently, so this tells me, and you know, it's good. Sometimes it'll happen. So I'm not coming up for those tags, but you know, it's all about tailoring that stuff. Once you tailor it more, using your tags and stuff, and you have more interactions than one page, then you'll end up being the top. You know, but there's a bunch of competition for those. So
yeah, going into branding, really quick here, you need to hire a graphic designer.
Oh yeah,
you do. And if you know one that is capable of actually doing something good and he's willing to do it for you for free or cheap, fine. But honestly, I mean, I dished out a pretty penny for my artwork, and I think it was a worthy investment. You need to look professional if you want people to take you seriously.
You know, either that or fucking find somebody, network with them, become buddy, and fucking, you know, get them to make you some art. I know not all of us are fucking ballers who have a whole bunch of money and fucking $1.3 billion billionaires. We can't all win the Powerball, right? So, you know, I remember back in the day before I had my logo. Actually, you know, let's talk about how I got my logo, because my graphic designer does all my work free now. You know, it's through the relationship. It's through the relationship that I built with this person. So, your brand is really important. Your image is important. You want to look as professional as possible. For anyone under, say, 15 to 2,000 followers, you don't have to have it all. You know, just focus on your music is very important too. Let's not forget that. Your music is the core of everything that you do. But you want to look professional as well. Aside from that, you know, when Dre gets back here in a moment, we're going to be talking about you know, the artist union, clout, and all these tools online that you could use to help you better market, to engage with people, how to engage, how to properly, you know, promote a track so that Facebook doesn't register it as a spam post because you're just posting a link and then it gets, you know, it doesn't get seen first, right? So we're going to be talking about all that stuff here in a moment if he doesn't have anything else to bring up. Which do you?
There's always something.
I was talking about the brand, the image, and then, you know, talking about how I could, talking about the tools and stuff that we use to promote, and how you use them, or how you could use them. If you want to do the artist union, you're fucking hella good with that one.
Oh yeah, one last thing that I want to throw in before we start going into the pages and everything. There is, say you have a decent following, couple thousand, up to 5,000, whatever followers, and you try all this stuff that we've been mentioning for a while and it doesn't work. You're still not getting the same reach, whatever, you know what I mean? Well, I kind of had this perspective on it that I think makes sense. It's the fact that when you're a newer producer, you still might get some followers and stuff like that, but over time, a lot of these people become inactive, or not only that, they change their interest in music, or
you cause your artistry pretty much to plateau.
Yeah, and the thing is that you might hit a point where you don't get any more growth anymore, and that's usually if you've been building the same page for a super long time and it just hasn't snowballed. So at that point, what do? You can rebrand. That's what I did with Wizkerz. Basically, what I did is my old brand used to be Toltecs, and back in those days, I'd been trying to build that account for almost 5 years, if not longer than 5 years, and only built up about 3,000 followers on there. Was at most getting maybe a little bit over 100 likes on a song. At most of the time it'd be closer to like 40-60 range, and you know, I asked myself, I was like, I knew I needed to rebrand basically. So what did I do? I went and hired a graphic designer, paid $150 to get a nice logo, get a good name, make sure that my tunes that I'm going to be putting out are quality first, and I changed my name. Now, I didn't actually wipe the Wizkerz page because I wanted, or the Toltecs page, because I wanted the people that did like my music and were still engaging to be engaged, so whatever, you know what I mean? And then I basically just changed the name from Toltecs to Wizkerz at about 3,000 followers. And put that professional logo up and everything. What did that do? Essentially, for all those 3,000 people, as soon as they see me on their stream, first of all, they're going to say, they're not going to know who it was before. They're going to see the good logo, and they're going to think, hey, this might be good. And essentially, the music was up to par for them. So as soon as I started doing that, right off the bat, I was getting almost 200 likes on songs, right immediately after doing that. And I was, like, really surprised. I was like, wow, that was weird. And it's image and branding. That's all it is. Mm-hmm. Before, I didn't have necessarily as strong of a brand as I did now, you know? And that killed a lot of things for me, and people don't understand how important that is. But the first time somebody sees your name, they're going to make up their idea of what your image is. You know what I mean? The first time they listen to your music. So all these people that had listened to Toltec, some of them might have thought, hey, this is kind of good, but it's not where I want it to be, and that's how they're going to think of me forever. Yeah. You know what I mean? And as soon as I hit the rebranding, it's like a fresh slate. It's like you're just coming out of the womb. You know what I mean? Yeah, yeah. And if it's professional and it looks professional and you get a lot of reach because of that early on, people are already going to assume that you're bigger than you already are. Yeah. And then that's how you can build the hype to actually keep those stats snowballing. I mean, that's all I did. Literally, the first song I uploaded, I got 200 likes on it, and I was like, what the fuck? I don't know why I didn't do this sooner. And then after that, literally, it just kept going up and going up and going up. And then you'll kind of hit a point where it's like, you're either hitting like 600 or 1K, you know what I mean? And that's kind of the limbo that I'm in right now. But beyond that's
usually at that point, you know, in my opinion, what he has to do is get in with bigger producers, you know, producers with 15K followers, because, you know, from my experience, you know, you got that saying, and that saying is, there's a saying that goes like this: for you to become a professional at something, you need to have spent somewhere in the vicinity of 10,000 hours doing what you do. And now when you rebrand yourself, you know, it gives you a clean slate, a new image and everything. But the also another benefit to that is that, you know, he already has 8,000 followers. It takes you a while to get there. So people with 15 to 20,000 followers, they know that in the back of their mind. So 8,000 followers, he's more likely to get seen by those people. And be able to hit those people up and start conversations and not just be brushed aside. So his music can be heard. He could get bigger collabs, and those people boost him up to the next level. But then also by that point, your shows. You got to start getting on shows. You know, that's another critical point. Yeah. It's now where people in different cities that aren't using the interwebs can find you. So that they can find you, because if they're not being seen by this community of people, which, you know, only goes up but so far, you know, and I noticed those numbers grow. If you want to know what the online community numbers are, just look at an artist who hasn't, you know, played too many shows recently and has been around. Like, that is his following. It's not the max following, but it's the active people probably in the community. Like, that's probably as far as that web is going to go before you got to start playing shows and being branded on flyers in different cities. Yeah, and that's where there's a couple different options that you can do at this point. For me, I went with option B. But option A, which I think is probably the best option, but since I don't necessarily have the best relationship with one of the promoters in this town, just not because of anybody on the crew. I actually love all the people on the crew. It's just with one specific individual. You know, I burn my bridge there too. It's not even that. It's just not compatible. You know, you're just not compatible with some people, and that's just how it is. But regardless, the best thing that you can do, I would say, is get involved with the crew in your city. Yeah. And how can you get involved with the crew who's already doing dubstep shows? I mean, basically anyone that I ever knew that was became a resident started off on Street Team.
That's a good way to meet people who work there, kind of figure out how the management is set up, who's where, who's doing what, you know what I mean? And it would give you a good impression early on because, hey, this person's putting in work for me.
Yeah.
You understand? And what happens if you're putting in work for a company and the owner one day hears your music and they go, hey, I like your song. Why didn't you fucking tell me that you fucking make music? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and at that point, you just want to kind of develop a relationship with these people, but make sure it's the right people because you don't want it to be a fake relationship.
You also want to start doing that online though, also with other.
If you don't have crews in your city, just do it online like I do because I am more focused on getting out of state than so much worried about the local scene that I have to work with right here.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, that's how I built. That's how I just played that show in Buffalo, New York. I'm over here in Denver, obviously, but I just got back from playing a show in Buffalo a few weeks ago. And the thing is that I known that kid for a while, and we just built a relationship. So he ended up flying me out to perform a show. Because he do all those shows, and his shows over time has gotten bigger, and he could do that. So building relationships is good, but then also at a point you got to realize where where friendship meets business, and not just be every promoter's friend. You want to have a professional relationship.
Yeah, and like a thing that I have noticed over time is being a producer, you have to kind of understand psychology.
Yeah.
Which is a little bit weird, and you'll kind of figure this out as it goes. But basically, another reason why I started the new Facebook is a friend of mine told me something that I thought was very smart that I hadn't thought of before, and it was essentially that if you post anything that could be seen by someone as negative, that's bad for you. That could be anything as being like, oh, I want Bernie Sanders to be the president. Like, just because somebody likes Donald Trump doesn't mean that I don't think that they should be a potential.
Don't be the fucking artist that rants.
Yeah.
That was my biggest thing, and I stumped my growth a bit because I did that a lot, man. I got a fucking big old mouth on me, and I love, just sitting at home. I get this fucking idea, and I'll just fucking start going off about it.
It's tempting. It's tempting,
but it really is.
But here's the thing: it's like if you do that, you could basically be like silently killing people that liked your music before because because they're gonna get your music tied into who you are personally, and that's not how it should be. Yeah. So when you're on Facebook and when you're on all that stuff, be mindful of that. Keep it positive. Keep it reinforcing. You want the people commenting on your stuff, being like, "Oh, dude, thank you." You know what I mean? Like grateful. Keep that kind of energy because it's proven psychology that as soon as one person decides to be negative or positive on a post, that it is more likely to snowball in one direction or the other. Yeah, exactly. Because people subconsciously follow other people. Like, it's just weird how that works. I mean,
exactly. Exactly. So if you start creating this asshole fucking brand for yourself, right? And other artists start talking and they're like, oh, that guy's an asshole. He always posts this. He always posts that. He's a dick. Yada, yada. Other people are going to start to believe that about you, and that's going to become your brand. And if other people don't like you, why would I like you?
And that's why people who don't know Nems or have never talked to Nems don't like Nems.
Exactly.
And I've tried to talk to Nems, and I've tried to be nice to him, and I can thankfully say that he is actually a cunt. Yeah. I tried to be nice and just, and understanding that, I even told him I respected his dedication, and I think if it used positively that he could actually build a brand. But then he proceeded to call me a cunt. So, but regardless of that, you gotta keep it positive. You're gonna have occasionally people, especially when you're getting new reach, that aren't
haters
gonna like,
hate.
You're gonna get some haters, okay? Mostly because dubstep isn't music and it's shit. And why don't you pick up a real instrument, you fucking douchebags? Come on. No, but joking, of course. But yeah, you're gonna get a lot of shit like that.
Haters gonna hate, man.
And I'll tell you, if the good thing, every time I see a hater, I'm going, hey, people that don't like dubstep are being forced to hear my music. That's how good my reach is right now.
You know what? Exactly, right? But here's the thing, man. They hate us because they ain't us. I mean, that's the bottom line fact. Listen, you got to have this mentality about you where you think you're humble about it, but you internally think you're the shit, right? Because you're going to have haters hate on you, and when you got that mentality, like, nigga, no, this is a no flex zone, like, don't fuck with me, like, I don't care what you think, I'm gonna do me, you're less apt to quit just because you got some hater fucking hating on you, especially in the beginning.
Well, I mean, I don't think you have to be, I mean, you could be humble and chill about it. You just need to be understanding, like, and not get butthurt about it. I mean, you don't necessarily have to think you're the shit, but you could, you know,
you gotta have
I mean, you could have confidence. I would prefer the word confidence. I would, you know, I think that was crossing the line between confidence and arrogance at that point. So you know what I mean? You know, be confident in yourself, but at the same time, remember that, now, it's not even that they're bad people or that they even have a bad taste in music, but the thing about music is the general public really doesn't understand it. They just hear it and they just intake information. They don't actually have any sort of real educated knowledge on creating music or anything like that. So it's a lot easier for somebody like that to make judgments and things like that and be more. They don't understand that all genres of music are all in the same fucking keys. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's all the same thing. It's just the sounds that appeal to you, and some people won't see that or ever see that. Ever. And it's fine, you know, just be accepting of that. And like I said, if you do get haters, just be like, you know, just be grateful because you're getting reach to people that don't even want to see your music, and that's good because that means you're getting new reach. Yeah, exactly. That means that you're reaching out to more people.
If they comment on your shit and they're like, what the fuck is this? Is garbage? That's a good sign.
Yeah, and honestly, I think it's I actually think it's funny because if you do get a hater and you leave it on your track or whatever like that, the comment, the fans that actually do support you will usually just eat them up, and it's kind of funny and gets them more engaged, so I just kind of leave it. I would never reply, though. Just try to be understanding of that, you know. I try not to acknowledge it, because then you're just going to be sitting in your chair pumping adrenaline for no reason. You know, who needs that, man? Yeah.
I just, like, for instance, man, I just had this fucking dickhead tell me that, you know, my music was shit or whatever, and he's upset that Koki's releasing this kind of music and yada yada, because if you guys don't know, I got myself associated with Koki, and, you know, his labels Don't Get It Twisted, and, you know, he wants to plan a release with me. And he's played my music out and stuff like that. He actually played it at Outlook Festival last year. And so, you know, that's gained me a bit of a new following, right? But this kid, you know, wanted to just express himself about that. He was like, you know, my tune sounds like bro step. I'm like, damn, I don't think I'm anywhere close to bro step. But anyways, you know, I didn't let it get to me. You just fucking delete the comment, block the hater, and fucking get on with your life. You know, if they're seeing you, like Dre said, you're reaching new people you couldn't have reached before. At least they heard it.
I don't even care.
They gave you a play.
I like to just leave them on the track because it's just, honestly, that kind of shit just motivates me even more, and I'm sure it's that way for a lot of people, so I don't really give a fuck. Yeah. I mean, I've learned many instruments growing up as a child anyway, so it doesn't really offend me because I just understand that they don't even know. They think they know, but they don't even know because they basic bitches, okay? Yeah, but moving on beyond that, we're going to start getting into some of these websites that you can actually use now, and tools that we're using and showing you what you can do with them, some of the features and stuff like that, and then we'll probably be wrapping it up. Huh?
Are you on Join Us? Or no, or
Just Go?
Just Go.
Yeah, I just signed up for that. We'll have you cover that. Yeah. So, I'm going to go into Artist Union now. I think that's probably a good place to start. I'm sure you guys probably saw a few people posting, like, power scores, SoundCloud power scores and stuff. And, you know, whatever. Like, yeah, it's stupid, honestly. I don't even think it's working right now because it gave me a really high number before, and then now it's, not, and it's saying,
top 4% or something.
Yeah, so I don't even think it works, so we'll probably just skip that. But if you do want to do that, you can just click on the little tab at the top that says Power Score and see your Power Score. And it's kind of cool because it gives you little stats of your top followers. And if all your top followers were to repost your track, you would get this much reach. And how many of your fans have over this many amount of followers. It gives you like a bunch of cool little stats like that. But it is kind of buggy and sometimes it doesn't work. I mean, we could check because I know for a fact mine's 71. But I see it's glitchy. because now it says 51, and it says half of your followers have more than 0 followers. So it's like broken right now. I don't know why. Oh, that's because it's the one from 20 days ago. Let's try to recalculate that. Maybe it'll work now. Yeah, I saw that and I was like, how did I drop 20 points? Right? What the fuck? And like all my top followers are gone.
But you see that point right there, that point system is also what gets you seen on SoundCloud first.
Yeah, and the thing
that's your interaction.
This website is still pretty new.
Yeah. So they're working out a lot of bugs.
Yeah, so it's not necessarily too buggy. Like it's usable, but it is like sometimes the power score thing's a little weird, and I mean that's basically it. But I think it's cool to have a system to kind of like get the overview of what you're looking at. But we're gonna go into the inner circle, which I think is the fucking best fucking feature on this website.
Join my inner circle.
Yeah, and if you look on my page here, I hope you guys can see this, but right here under my tabs where I have all my websites connected and everything like that, I have a little link here that says join my inner circle and become family. So what does this do? People see this. If they really like my music, they're going to click on this and they're going to join. I just started doing the inner circle, like this stuff, within like the last month, I'd say. So it's still very small right now, but let me show you. So someone clicks on this. Let me log out so that you can see what this actually looks like when somebody who doesn't have this looks at it. So let's go to join my inner circle. So, oh, there we go. It fixed itself. Okay. So they're going to see this page here, and there's going to be this glowing button that says join my inner circle. Why do you want people to join your inner circle? The reason that people would do this is these are going to be like your fucking ride or die fans. These are going to be the people that would be like signing up for your mailer and shit like that, okay? What this does is every time you upload a song on SoundCloud, it is going to send them an email notifying them that that you upload a song, and it's also going to automatically repost it onto their SoundCloud. This is going to be for like your ride or die fans who, people follow Bass Nectar around the fucking country. You know what I mean? These are going to be like those people. These people are the most important people. Building this number is very important. I think I only have something like 13 people right now, but like I said, every time I've uploaded a song, that number just keeps growing. So I'm hoping to get that to like 100 within the next couple of months. And then every time I upload a song, I'm going to have 100 reposts right a fucking way.
A good idea for that is, getting a link for this and making sure that when you post a track and share it on Facebook, that you also give people right there at the start, like, hey, join my inner circle here. And
for some reason on my last track, it didn't work, but on the track before that, it did. So I'm hoping that they didn't change that. Even if they do end up changing the repost feature, which would be very unfortunate, it's still very beneficial because they do still, it's people that are basically sent your information every time you upload. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's basically a free mailer. Think of it like that. And mailers are really important because the nice thing about this is...
The thing is, if they have access to SoundCloud, I assume that, they have permission to have access to these accounts, you know what I mean?
And, like, I'll show you now.
That means they hacked SoundCloud.
Like, it's good because if you go to your inner circle here, all these people that I have, you have email contacts for them. You can see how many followers that they have, their location. And you see, you get emails here. And these are people that are agreeing to sign up on your email list. So these are potential customers in the future for gear. These are people that you could be sending emails to and have a discount if you have a discount on surplus of T-shirts or something like that.
Exactly. And you give these people the deals. They get all the deals. You email them out.
And that's important. Make sure you're giving these people incentive. Make sure you're giving the people that are signing up for your inner circle something that they, in return, like a chance to win a competition or something like that.
Here's another thing is that we could do these videos, right? These, like, what I'm going to start doing is doing my tip of the day, thing, and using my inner circle, right? Is that the inner circle feature is at the end of the video, hey, if you really like my stuff and you want to be a part of my family, go ahead and click this link below, which is going to join you into my inner circle, and and then you give a quick breakdown, and you can increase that number too. So it's just It has a ton of benefits. You know, especially when you want to come, like for instance, Wizkerz got a pretty big following. With this following, when he starts getting his T-shirts in, he now has an email list of people he can email, but also 8,000 followers that if he starts his website and becomes an authority figure for dubstep because of all his mutual links and stuff, right, that are being shared and all his backlinks, now all he has to do is create a funnel system to lead people into buying his merchandise. And right there, you know, that's where you start talking about conversion rates of people who see your website turning into sales. And that's just the world of marketing and sales. But aside from that, you know, also I'm a store manager, so I know all about that kind of stuff.
If you're going to buy T-shirts, buy a lot of them. Because
Yes.
don't just buy like 2 T-shirts and think you're gonna sell them. If you really want to sell T-shirts and you want to make money, buy like 50 shirts. You're gonna pay like $400 for them, but you're gonna get each shirt for like $4.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? And then you can sell them for like $10-15 and actually still make a profit, and people will
And then
actually
double
buy
it,
them for like 10.
Yeah, and then double it next time. Now you got 100 shirts at fucking 800, and you just keep on growing that number. You know. Okay, so aside from that, keep on talking about the artist union and some of the features.
So yeah, getting back into the artist union, other stuff that you could do. So here's the power score here. This is gonna, you know, it's just a fun little thing you can do to kind of see how you're ranking up with the other people that are on the website.
Here's a fun thing about this is if he goes down, he'll see that go down. It says if. It gives you a number right here. And this should be your biggest goal for your followers, right? Is if they're really big and they're a dubstep artist and you can collaborate with them, this is your end goal. You want to approach every single one of these top 10 people, because right here what that says right now is that if your top 10 followers all reposted one track, your reach would be over 300,000. That's insane. It just gave you some stats, which should be your ultimate goal. Your ultimate goal should be creating a relationship with Jay Phelps, with Dak Daniels, with these people, and getting them all to work with you and repost a track, or just repost one of your tracks and support you. Because now at least you... Like, that's your big goal. At least you have somewhere that you're heading. You have goals in mind.
Yeah, and this right here is very important. This is your favorites ratio. This actually will tell you how many plays per favorite you're getting.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think I'm happy with this number, and I think, you know, you should try to be somewhere around here, because that's generally, I think, a pretty good place. Now down here it'll also tell you how many followers you have. This is not correct, unfortunately. It says 75 here, but on SoundCloud it's 8,028, so that's a little bit off. But like I said, minor bugs. Just work with it, and it'll kind of give you all of your numbers that you have right now. And then yeah, so there's that feature. That's a fun one. Going into download gates now. So the thing that I like about the Artist Union is it syncs to SoundCloud from the second you sign up. So some websites, after you sign up on the website, you actually have to sync your account with it. In this instance, all you have to do is sign up, connect with your SoundCloud, that's it. You don't ever have to worry about it again. And every time you upload a song, it's automatically going to be here, but it's going to be disabled. So all you have to do is just when you upload the song, you can change that in your settings, but I have it set that way. Yeah, as many as you want.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, as far as I know. I haven't had any problem, though. And this is these are going to be your download gates. So you can click on, as soon as you upload a song, you'll see it pop up here. You click on whichever one you want to create a download gate for, and then you have all of these options here. So first of all, make sure enable the download gate here, and here's where things get interesting. So you can also offer people another option if they don't want to follow or repost your tunes or whatever like that to get the song. You can actually offer to do a donation. And this could be as much as a penny if they really wanted to be a dick. But why not? You know, why not put a place up where people can make donations so that you can upgrade your equipment and things like that? You know, I think it's positive. Yeah. I don't see any reason not to have it there. It's not forcing anyone to do anything. It's just... Why not?
It's there. You know, it's a courtesy.
Yeah.
I think your Ride or Die fans, your inner circle, are going to be the ones who are more likely to, you know, give you a donation anyway. But some of the other features are awesome as well.
Yeah, so you have requires fans to follow you on SoundCloud, requires fans to favorite, repost, comment, and then it says allows fans to instantly support you on SoundCloud whenever you add new music. How does this work? Fans who choose to join your inner circle on the Artist Union will automatically favorite and or repost new tracks you add. In return, fans get an email with a link to download the track. Okay, so I think what they're doing is they're giving people the option to either favorite or repost, which I think is nice because sometimes people don't want to repost every time. But regardless, it still numbers right as soon as you upload because those first 48 hours, remember what I said, is crucial. So every bit of thing you can do to help that growth in that period is going to help a lot. Now, down here, we have Inner Circle Override. This is actually a really cool feature that I'm probably going to be starting to use with other people as far as, like, collabs go and stuff like that. You can actually have fans join another artist Inner Circle and yours at the same time if they want to. So that's really cool. It kind of just doubles the reach a little bit. And moving on down, for this particular song, I had to follow additional SoundCloud accounts, up to 3 other SoundCloud accounts. I put Rilla Dubs because this is for the collab that we did. And then you could also do a Facebook page here if you would require them to like the page or like your YouTube channel. Just remember, be a little bit more focused on what you're doing because if you do all of this stuff, it can be a little overwhelming for some people. So just try to, if you want to boost your YouTube, boost your YouTube. If you want to boost the SoundCloud stats, boost your SoundCloud stats. But try to keep all this stuff a little bit more spaced out because you don't want to be getting people like, holy fuck, they can never download the song because they keep having to fucking follow and like shit. You know what I mean?
And they get annoyed and they're just like, fuck this.
Yeah, you can, get a little bit out of them, but don't push it because then they're just not ever going to come back,
you don't want that. You also want to have good customer service,
So, yeah, another really cool feature here is as soon as you upload a song, right now it looks different, but it'll say it'll have an option that says create a Facebook video, create a YouTube video, or share a video to Twitter after you convert it. So you can click on either of these buttons and it'll make a video exactly like this. And I mean, I've just started building my YouTube account, so it's atrocious. It's really bad, but it's the reason why I like this site though is it automatically uploads the video for me. Right off the bat, it's watch, nigga, don't believe it, just watch. Don't believe content coming out and save you a little bit of time.
But then if you start thinking about what you're doing, like you're making these videos and stuff, what you could also do is start uploading these videos up on there and getting the YouTube community involved in all this, and then brand yourself again as a professional. So then later on you could create like this master course on marketing and all this shit to sell to people that they might buy.
Yeah.
And it doesn't necessarily even have to be a dubstep producer. It could be a hip hop producer. There's tons of people who pay for courses. I know that's a niche on the internet that's like blowing up.
And going back into what Rilla was saying here, like if you notice, you have all these different accounts that you can connect. Unfortunately, I don't have Instagram or Twitter because my fucking cell phone's shit. But as soon as I do have a Twitter, but I don't use it because my cell phone's fucking garbage. So I need to get a new cell phone, and then I'll update all of those websites and shit.
Some additionals.
Yeah, and you can connect with just connect all your stuff because the more it's connected, the more that reach is going to be kind of shared.
How's Spotify work? I need to figure out Spotify because I think that's a really brilliant one for anybody who's listening on Spotify to dubstep music. They could find your shit on there,
I don't know, but if it's anything like Pandora, you might have to be like submit or have them request to have your music on there, kind of thing. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't even know honestly what the platform even looks like, so I couldn't even give any advice on that.
Next step up.
Yeah, I'll have to look into that.
Level.
Apparently,
that's the next level.
Yeah,
right there's information.
we're all learning here.
Yeah, exactly. But that's how you grow as an artist. You always want to be growing, finding something new, doing something new, approaching a new website, using a new tool, learning all these tools, so that then at the end you're this fucking just beast of a fucking producer who knows where to go to post shit to get views, to get followers and shit like that. You know, that's the name of the game.
And down here you have a couple more settings, account settings. No, so there's this feature called Automate, and it's called automatically create download gates for new tracks you add on SoundCloud. I have that on. And then experimentation. I mean, I personally, everything I upload's free anyway, so I'm just hustling shit right now. I'm basically giving out free shit fucking until I'm at like 15K. Like, I want to build that really, shit.
Like, you know, I get hats off to fucking Wizkerz, man, because I have tunes where I'm just like, fuck, yo, I don't see myself giving this thing away. You know, or looking at these album releases or potential songs to do for album releases or having that there. I think that's what I'm going to build. I'm just going to keep these 2 songs and give away everything else for free.
And that's tying into another thing. Why haven't I done a release with a label in a while? And, you know, here's the thing. I've actually kind of weighed both sides. It's not that labels are bad. They can help with getting new reach and stuff like that. It can help. It might be better for people that are smaller, but at a certain point you got to realize it's like, labels, if I'm getting more reach than the label is getting themselves, it's better off. It's better off to build up that number rather than give out 8 songs and only get like 50 likes on it or something like that.
Yeah, here's my thing about releases, and you know, I haven't thought about it that way, is that you could be the artist that releases your own music on Bandcamp and never does a release with any other label and gives away your music because you can, and you build your own like fan base that buys your shit and you got more reach than the label, as he said. It's something I haven't thought about, you know, is being my own brand, which I might actually start doing and not worrying about album releases. Because you're essentially like fucking Savage Society and all these crews that blew up. They don't release through other labels most of the time. They just kind of release their own music. And it's all about having the big enough fan base. So I think I'm going to take that route too.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's, you know, you have to make some decisions. And it's not that one path is better than the other. It's just you know, what's better for you. Yeah. What I'm saying now could be different for another person depending on what it is. Now, obviously, if Firepower Records or something like that hits you up, I would do it. Obviously, you know what I'm saying.
You know, here's the thing. Here's the thing about not having labels early on is that I kind of feel like people are kind of fucking stupid in a way, right? Because it's kind of like the artists that don't have labels typically aren't the ones that are being put on shows for some reason. And I noticed that, you know, especially within this community. Yeah, but if you have the patience and you can wait and you don't care about playing shows all the time and or the outlook that people might have, you know, it's usually about not only your brand. The label does have a part to do with your brand. You know, so you just gotta weigh the pros and cons. Like, what are your goals? What do you want to do with music? And you know, go that route. I know personally, for the artists that I know throughout history that have had the most success, especially on the internet, they all did it DIY. They didn't have a third party or anything like that. Like, what was that one rock band on fucking MySpace that did they were their own record label, did their own distribution, and sold over 200,000 albums. Now, if you sold personally 200,000 albums as a band, invested that money, how much of a return on profit do you think you made? Because that's just fucking insane, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it goes on and on too, man. Like it could be ridiculous over time, you know. But going into, I mean, I see some questions about some more advanced SoundCloud features, and I'll go into that at the end. But basically, I'll show you guys what you get from Premium and why I think it's absolutely crucial to have Premium or Pro Unlimited. I mean, to go Pro on SoundCloud, you need it. Especially we'll go into it later. I just want to finish this first, and we'll go. But trust me, we'll go into that later.
I would say for everybody to start off with the basic account and max it out. In my opinion, just max it out because that's the guy that's typically in the beginning. I don't think that at the beginning.
Well, no, at the beginning you do need it, and I'll explain why.
Okay.
But yeah, we'll go in. But I do think it is important. But okay, so that's basically the gist of the artist
having
union.
the analytics if you're under 500.
Well, it's not for the analytics.
Oh, okay.
You'll see.
You know what? You got me on my toes right now.
Yeah.
Holding out on.
I'm gonna. Don't you worry. That's coming up. So yeah, and then you can do stats in here and stuff like that. So cool. I think use that. Now we can go into SoundCloud. We can go into the Go thing or the Go shit that you have.
Oh yeah. Let's talk about that.
All right. What's the website again? Just Go.
Just Go. Yeah.
Okay, so here's another website.
Open up in another link, Clout as well.
Hold on, let me get Clout.
Yeah, it's Klout. Now these are two tools here that I personally like.
Why is this happening?
I don't know. You gotta sign up.
It already belongs.
So sign in. I'll go back. Oh, you're under the register. Go back. Huh. You should just be able to switch and start over. Cancel and return to home. I just cancel and return to home. Oh, there we go. Okay.
Hey, I'm in the top 20% of social media users. What up? Okay, cool. That's not bad. That's pretty good.
That's actually pretty fucking brilliant.
That means I know what I'm saying is working. Okay, so I'm gonna give Rilla the seat here because he's.
I'm black.
Yeah, he just notified this of me the other day.
Okay, so these are some of the tools that I use, and this is mainly about your post times and how the best times to post and things like that, how to automate your postings. Let's say you got to go to work or you got to go away. It's the holidays and you're like Ben's Mixer. Every holiday you got to go away for 2 weeks and you don't have internet access. So these are really brilliant for those kinds of people. Okay, so pretty much this is Clout. Clout just pretty much gives you a score based on your activity on Facebook, your interactions. This is how you go and look whether or not you're maximizing your SEO on Facebook and your social media platforms properly, because they have scores. Your scores will go up accordingly, and it'll show you the posts that had the most reach and stuff like that. So in Dre's case, right, if I go over here, or actually, I don't know what that is. Okay, so if I go to Dre's measure, right, he's currently, his Clout score is 51. I also see that that this post here, the post about this, actually, this stream that we're doing currently, inquiring whether or not people would like him to do this stream, has had the most impact on his Clout score. So posts that engage with people, ask questions and stuff like that, always, of course, that'll get people to engage. And the reason you want your Clout score as high as possible is because it does affect whether or not you are seen by your friends. So him being at 51 out of a score of 100, it means that the majority of his friends, 51%, of the people that are looking, say, for dubstep, are seeing his posts, and that's good. You want to be able to measure that, right? You want that to be active, and you want to actively grow that score. Be mindful about what you're doing. The thing with Just Go is more of a manage all your accounts and all your postings under one roof kind of tool. But the reason I use these together is because, now let's say he has maximized, for this week, his Clout score, so the people are seeing his posts. It's now time for him to upload a new song. That's a good sign. It means people have a good chance of seeing it. So this is how you maximize your views and maximize your following as well on your social media platforms. If we go over here, the beauty about this tool is that it allows you to schedule or post to your Facebook any kind of content that you want, whether it be pictures, music, or video. Not only that, you can connect it to your Twitter account, your Instagram, your SoundCloud, your YouTube, in your Mixcloud. So you can post content or schedule your content for a future day. You could schedule your content. So let's say he goes on SoundCloud, and SoundCloud is the one that's highlighted, right? He could schedule in the future, a song to upload. So if I click here, what it's going to ask him to do is to go find the track that he wants to upload. Click here, and then when you go to the schedule list and click on this little icon here, you can set it up for a future day. So let's say you're like fucking Ben's Mixer. He has to go away every Christmas, but he doesn't want his following to fall. Well, he's going to be away for Christmas, so now he could schedule a song or two to be uploaded during the time that he's away without him having to do it. He's setting it up ahead of time. You can also actively set up all your all of your uploads and posts, for the future. So I could connect on Facebook, and let's say I just want to make sure that every single day I don't have to worry about my clout score. So on Sundays I'll just sit there and ask people questions like, what is your favorite dubstep label right now? I know I did that yesterday, and it got like fucking over 30 freaking reactions to comments on that one.
Yeah, I mean, the important thing is whenever you do post on Facebook, it needs to be something that people are actually more likely to like, comment on, things like that.
Yeah, engage with.
Yeah, make it, almost think of it like it doesn't necessarily have to be a question every time, but it could be a milestone that you accomplished. Mm-hmm. It could be a question that you're asking. It could be commending somebody else's efforts. Something that is likely to get a lot of positive feedback. Because if you put something like, "Oh, dude, I saw this bitch at the mall," and
that's just it's negative. It doesn't help you.
You're gonna get like 2 likes, and it's gonna hurt your clout.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. So the reason I used clout along with this clout is more so to see what my score is. So that way I can change what I'm doing. If I go over to his Twitter he doesn't have other network set up, but if I was to go over to his Twitter, it would also on the side give him a percentage of what percent of of his overall 51 score, how much of that actually came from Twitter. So it's good to see which of your accounts are having more of an impact on your clout. Okay, so if you go over to this little thing here at the top, you'll see that Clout has a similar feature as Just Go. You can upload like comments, photos, not necessarily videos or anything like that, however. So, but the reason I like this is because let's say I insert something random here and go into the scheduler, right?
You can first select the time zone.
You got to select your time zone, obviously, because if you're saying you're on the East Coast and it's fucking 9 o'clock here and it's 2 hours later there, it's going to post it at 9 p.m. Eastern. Well, if it's 11 p.m. Eastern time and you want it to set it up for 9 p.m. Mountain time, but you didn't set it up properly, it's going to post at 11 o'clock over there, so all those people aren't going to see it.
Yeah, and this right here is the best fucking thing that you will ever know. And the thing is, guys, is you need to fucking get on this shit, because there is going to be a shitload of content creators that don't know about this stuff for a while. And this stuff is really just incredible. Go ahead and go into that,
Yeah, this is killer right here, right? This right here is a game changer, right? So Clout actually observes your Facebook and your social media platforms, and it analyzes the trends of your posts and when your posts are likely to do better in the start of the month compared to the end of the month, and trends from the prior year if it has information going far that back, and it gives you, based on prior information, what your best time to share for that specific day is going to be. So now if you want to post a track,
specific platform too, right?
Exactly.
You can select SoundCloud. So for example, you can know the best time that you're going to get the best amount of reach on SoundCloud before you upload it. It'll tell you down to the fucking minute, 2:45, 7:15, 4 o'clock, what the best time and the peak time for your reach is going to be when you
upload.
Upload.
For that day and any day in the future, because if you watch the time, it also changes per day. you know, and I'm gonna click through the days here, you know, it changes per day.
Like,
so it tells
how
you
fucking incredible is that?
it's insane. Honestly. Absolutely insane. So now you could take this information, go back to Just Go, and schedule, say, your SoundCloud upload at a specific day, or your video upload at a specific day, to maximize how many people are seeing it and engage with people, and to make sure that your SEO on Facebook is optimized, so you have the most chance to you have the better chance to expose yourself to all the people you are connected with on your social media platforms. You know, that right there, this tool right here, you got to learn how to use it. It's going to be impactful and powerful, you know, to these free tunes that you upload in the future, if you're going to go that route, you know, to maximize your exposure. Because you always want to maximize, and I suggest anybody in the future that is an artist, man, make sure you look up SEO, make sure you look up marketing and do research on these subjects, right? Because later on in the future, the reason why a lot of us artists got impacted by the change in social media and the way that you're seen is not because of how many friends you have, but because your lack of knowledge and how SEO has evolved over the last 5 years.
The thing is the internet is a very complicated place, and a lot of people don't know how it works.
Exactly. And I mean, okay, so like the thing is that, you know, the internet is a vehicle, and you have to learn how to drive that vehicle properly to make it run the best that it can. So you got to be on top of this information, and it actively changes. I think for Google, it's called, they have like some annual thing where they have all their developers go to learn the new things that are coming out this year. It's kind of like fucking updates for Facebook. You know, before OS X comes out, before the new operating software for Mac or the new operating software for PC comes out, they have their conference to tell you the differences, and you learn about it in that conference. Well, Google has the same thing. You got to make sure that you watch these things so that you understand when you're posting something how it's how you're being affected with your posts. So you have a lot of old artists from back in like 2009 to 2011.
Their reach is dead.
Their reach is completely dead because they're still trying to do things the way that we were doing it, you know, back then. I'm sorry, but posting on Facebook groups all the time.
I'm sorry, I hate to say it. I fucking loved him.
Yeah.
And I still love his music, but dude, his reach has been suffering.
Yeah, it's just gone, it tanked, but that's for people with lack of knowledge. You always got to be learning and growing. So the thing is that, you know, they start to take that curveball because they're still doing things that they used to do back in 2010 to 2011, you know, and thinking that they're going to get the reach that they did before. But, you know, as I was saying, but I'm sorry, posting and spamming into SoundCloud groups is not going to get you anywhere. You need to have people in your friends. You need to use tools like these and maximize the time to post and have all your internet accounts connected and talking to each other and getting backlinks and uploading to Facebook in a certain way. Now, here's my biggest pet peeve about people and how they don't know how to share on, because I was talking about backlinks, right? So what backlinks are when you share content on Facebook, right? And other people share it, that's called a backlink. Other people share your content, so it's called a backlink because when people look up that video on Facebook, if let's say you entitled that video Big Titties 101, right? Let's use that for example. When people search on Facebook, Big Titties 101, you want to be the first person that comes up for that search, don't you? So you gotta make sure that you're posting your tracks in the things you share a certain way. And what I'm talking about is this, right? Let's go. I'm gonna go into your feed and stuff like that, just so I can explain this. But let's go back into his dashboard. Let's go to the Wizkerz artist page, right? Let's say Dre just uploaded a new track, right? It's on SoundCloud and everything. He goes on his artist page and he shares the link here, right? There is no reason why Dre should be going back to his personal account and then sharing the link here, right? And then what he does is then go into his SoundCloud groups and start posting the links in every individual one. Rather, what he should be doing is just uploading the track here, right? And then sharing it from here. He goes here, right? He goes into his he goes into his, let's say this is a SoundCloud link that he posted. He starts sharing from here. He shares, and then he goes into, you know, a group that he's in, types in the group, right? I'm pretty sure you're in, like, Rhythm Kids. You're not in any groups? Okay, so anyway, he's not in any groups, which...
it's a new page.
Yeah.
It's a new page.
Oh, it's a new page. Okay, so, anyways... He should be sharing that and then, you know, sharing it to the other pages. Why? Because now he posted it onto his personal Facebook and he's getting backlinks from that, right? So when people view it from the Facebook group, guess what? That video just got a reach hit right here. Right? He shared it from this account into the group. They view it from the group. He gets a hit here. They view it from his timeline. He gets a hit here. They view it from the other group that he was in. He gets a hit here. Somebody else starts sharing that link that he posted from here into another group. And guess what? His Wizkerz page gets a hit here. It all points back to his Wizkerz page. You know, and here's the thing. When you're going individually into every individual account and just posting it individually, fine. Your Facebook, your SoundCloud page will get a hit, but you're not maximizing and getting your reach as far as it could be by just sharing the link from your artist page. Maximize your reach on one account and get both accounts, getting followers, because the link first posts back to his Wizkerz page. People see Wizkerz, they click Wizkerz, they follow him on there, they go back to the link, and then they go to his SoundCloud, listen to it, comment, whatever, download it, and you're maximizing your reach. You want to make sure that you have a funnel system in place, because what's a funnel? A funnel, goes down this way. You want to send them through a system that's sending them through that funnel to, like, your pages. But yeah, man, that's in a nutshell, just some of the information, some of my tips that I want to share with you guys, man. I hope you like those. But I want to have him jump. What were you going to jump into now?
I'm going to go into Pro, SoundCloud Pro.
Okay.
So here, switch me there. Let me finish this message. Hit to start with. Okay. Okay.
That's how some of my videos have 800-900 views on this page,
Yeah, and I just found out about this cloud stuff. I haven't even used it yet, but it is so cool because how do you switch it to? You can switch it to SoundCloud, can't you?
Well,
I think I have
on SoundCloud. No, I don't think they have the service. It's just for Twitter and Facebook.
Okay, well, here's the thing. If you have if you have genuine followers and they're the same people that follow you on SoundCloud, you can still get a good idea of when this is going to be good, because that's when people are going to be online. Yeah. So it's still useful even for SoundCloud and things like that.
Here's the thing, is that you could connect it over to your artist page.
Yeah.
So, your Facebook artist page.
So cool. I love that, man. That's so crazy. Like, it shows you your best times. You could go in the future too. It's just incredible. Mm-hmm. So yeah, now we're gonna go into SoundCloud Pro and why, if you don't have it, you need to buy it. And Rilla, this is what you've been waiting for. Why? Because he's over here like, why the fuck would you do that, dude? Why would you tell people to do that? I'm gonna tell you exactly why. Okay, when you're first starting, and like I said, you're gonna need to be super active on SoundCloud. You're gonna need to be, and what does that mean? You're gonna have to repost a lot of fucking music, probably. That's good, Don't fucking make people listen to shit that isn't good, okay? But if someone made a damn good song and you want to help them and repost that shit. Mm-hmm. But here's the thing, a lot of people are like, but dude, I don't want to repost it because then my song moves down this list and people don't see my song. Right, blah, blah, blah. Because if you don't have Pro, it just looks like this. Oh, yeah, and then if you're reposting stuff, your song just goes further and further down, you know what I mean? And people are like, I don't want to do that, dude, then no one can find my music, okay? That's why you fucking need Pro Unlimited. It's because you have a spotlight. You can be reposting tunes. Someone will go to your page, and this will still be the first song that they see. Yeah. Because this is what you've set on your top 5 spotlight.
And yeah, it's useful for that. But in the beginning, I would just focus, because if other people are reposting it, he's the top on several accounts. He doesn't necessarily have to worry about his own.
Well, I think it's worth it.
Yeah, it is worth it.
Because
but then also on your stream, every repost affects how far up you're going to be.
Yeah, but it's not even that. I mean, it's going into what you were saying earlier, how you're funneling everything into everything else.
Yeah.
You want the people that find you on Facebook, for example, that go to check out your music, be able to see your music at the top, you know, because, yeah, you might be doing okay reach-wise because, you know, hey, you know, you're on a couple bigger guys' page, whatever, because they reposted it. But you still want the first thing people to see when they go to your page to be your content.
And it's definitely useful for that.
You know? And that's honestly worth $15 a month to me. That alone is worth $15 a month for me.
$15 a month?
Yeah. And that's worth it, okay? I mean, for $15 fucking a month, I could wipe my fucking ass with that money. I could give a fucking shit. Okay?
Doppelganger asked a question which I want to answer real quick. On YouTube, I'm not sure, but on Facebook, it seemed about the average time a video would take. You know,
yeah, basically, it renders it, I would say, under 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Under 5 minutes. Yeah. So it's really good, really quick. You don't have to go into fucking, you know, Movie Maker or After Effects and make your own video. Now, the other thing that I think is good, this is going to be stuff that I think is more important later on, is your stats.
Yeah.
Now, stats are good because, you know, you can kind of keep track of what's getting what. You can go into your top cities.
Here's my biggest use for your if you are pro and all that, and you are using the artist union, as we said, people can opt into your inner circle, right? But let's say you don't have somebody in your inner circle, right? Who on here are the people who play your music the most. Where's the other options where you could just see your top viewers, period? It's under who played the most.
Yeah, here.
Yeah.
I think you can do it
just by the followers, right? Just not the last week.
No, you have to change the date, and it'll tell you who's the biggest follower overall. So you could go last 12 months.
Overall. Let's do overall.
Overall, Dubstep Alex has played one of my songs.
So here's why that's useful, right? Because let's say he wanted to go on a fucking promotional fucking rage right now, right? We know that this guy is the person who listens to fucking Wizkerz music the absolute most. So now he could look up, he could go to Dubstep Alex's page, right? Let's go ahead and open up that tab. And in here, what happens? He has his name, his full name that he can copy and paste over in SoundCloud, over on Facebook. Look up this guy here. And more than likely, if he's connected there, boom, what happened? I just found this kid.
That's not him.
Well, no, that's not him. It looked like him. It looked like a similar picture. But let's say it's got to be on your other account or whatever.
Yeah, I don't have very many people on here yet, so that might be why. But regardless, I mean,
so the people. So if we just look, okay. So in my case, I'll be able to find them really quickly. But it's useful because now he could take that join my inner circle link and go to Alex and be like, hey man, I really appreciate you. I see you listen. You're like my #1 viewer, dude. You have no idea how much respect I have for you. And start building a relationship that's personal with this guy. And then be like, hey man, I would really like to invite you to join my inner circle.
And like, yeah, I think that's good. But at the same time too, I don't even... If they're your biggest fan and your networks are set up good enough...
going down your list.
Yeah, like... If you have your funnels good enough, they're probably already friends with you. This guy probably isn't because he was probably on my old account if I funneled it correctly. If I haven't funneled it correctly, then
but you know, it's just like, okay, so on Google and Amazon, when you send out something, you know, and somebody's actively engaging onto your account or whatever. What happens is they ask for the email, and you have an email list, and they send like additional things you can buy. That's the kind of system. I mean, you are a business. If you want to scale your business, you know, like businesses do, those are just some of the small things you could do. And you could set that up to be a goal where on Sundays you do 20 of those a day and keep track of where you are and go down your whole friends list. You know, it just has to be a generic message. It could be anything, but this is marketing 101. You know?
Yeah. So I guess that basically covers the majority of stuff that I could think of. I mean, if you guys have any questions, now would be the time to probably type those up. So we will wait just a minute here and wait for those to come in if we have any.
Yeah, that's definitely the basics in marketing, you know? Following up with your client base, pretty much. You know, which is all things I do it, you know? I do it every now and again. And sometimes I won't even send them links. I'll just fucking talk to them.
Oh, did we even show them Just Go?
Yeah, we did. I showed them the kind of stuff that they could post and stuff.
Okay. So how does Just Go and Clout come together?
So, in Clout, I would use Clout only. I wouldn't use... Okay, so my thing is, I wouldn't use Clout to do my posting on Facebook. I would simply only use it for the times, because that's valuable information. You can already post automatically on Facebook. Just use the information over here. If for your SoundCloud stream too, if they're on Facebook and they're artists and they're connected to you, more than likely you're gonna have that upload around the same time. But you want to have it to post on at this time, because that's when your followers on Facebook are more likely to see.
And let me try connecting my SoundCloud to this, because... Okay, so no, I have to upload an audio file in order to upload to SoundCloud. Yeah. Well, that's cool though, because isn't this...
It's just setting you up in the future.
So this is the one where you set it up in the future, right?
Yeah, because you can go here, select the track that you want to download, and then click on the scheduler and schedule it for a time.
Okay,
in the future,
yeah, that's
and
right.
Use the Clout time
to figure out which one's best.
When.
Got it. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that's how you use both of those sites to maximize your reach. And the nice thing again about this is you can literally sit at your computer for a week straight and just make all these for the whole fucking year, and then not have to fucking go on social media for the rest of the fucking year.
Pretty much.
You know?
Pretty much. You know, but you also want to be engaging with people.
Okay, they want a track review. One track review that someone sent me. What do you think? Should you just pick a random one?
I mean, I'm not. I don't mind.
Suggestions for.
You know, I really.
I gotta go back because I gotta catch up. I had a lot of people messaging me at work.
I'd like to stay a bit more on subject in regards to SEO and different tips like that. If you guys have any of those.
Yeah, I could make a separate video later on.
He has a link here.
Oh, he's got a link. Okay.
Fuck it with the shameless self promotion. Go for it. I do it all the time. Okay, so we have this. All right, we're gonna listen to one tune here. Sorry, it's got to be over the laptop. We don't want to.
Here, I could do. Oh no, yeah, because the mic, the feedback. Yeah, it has to be on the laptop. Sorry. Alright, what is this? Who is this? Roasted Stone. Alright.
And this is on, kind of wonder how the sub sounds when they're...
Find out.
You know what, though? Something tells me that's my homie. Who's this?
I'm not getting audio out of it.
Jesus Christ. Hold on. You know what? The artist is so new and it's so high quality that I'm gonna say that's what's your real name? That's probably the new Squalid Squad Dan Lowe's, isn't it? I'm gonna call that. And if I don't know you and I don't have you in my friends, go ahead and add me. That's fire, man. It was actually pretty dope. I'm gonna put in my headphones.
I'm gonna keep playing it for a second because I need to hear more before I can say anything.
Let me go. Hold on. I gotta refresh the page. So.
Okay, here we go. We were like
Let's go
there.
back, yeah.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. That was pretty.
Good
That was
sound
good. That was good.
Good sound.
Breathe. Yeah, this was good.
A bit too heavy for my taste, but I do dig it.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, it's heavy. Good.
I would say that's geared like towards the firepower kind of, kind of thing going on. Heavier, a bit old schoolish too. Well, not old school, but old school for like the heavy sound.
Yeah.
I guess you could say that.
I can see what he's saying though. The snare is like. Here, go back to.
It's got a lot of body. You
little,
just need
a little tighter snare.
It's like a very fat.
Sounded
snare,
okay
so.
right there. I think.
Yeah. Oh, he needs to get rid of the tail end. You could either.
Yeah, it's too long.
Yeah, I would use a transient shaper, or do a tail cut off to the end of the snare, because it just has too much there, and if you have just the attack sounds like it would be more than enough. Usually with these sample packs, as producers, you got to realize is that they really fucking overkill the snare. Because one of the tricks is using transient shapers. They use organic snares and fucking just, they're a sample. You gotta edit the sample, but people don't know that. And it's not just EQing. Transient shaper and gating also helps to get that. Just a fast attack without the low end by EQing it and getting that nice, stumpy, like punchy, snappy, perfect snare.
Yeah, I do that a lot with my kicks. Like, I'll notice the kicks that I have and a lot of the kick sounds that I do have, they're longer than I want them to be, and it's like it muds it up. It's like, like for too long. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's too long.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that it's a bad sound. It just needs to be maybe a shorter decay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you can.
Or I mean, quicker decay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that it's just it hits a little bit faster and it's like a little bit punchier.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, I think you could use that snare.
Other than that, like the fucking the tune itself, I would have to listen to it with the headphones to kind of hear the low end mix, because I notice you can't really get a good sense of a mix down. Even if it sounds like it's good quality in the mids, it actually might be just a general shitty mix down. But other than that, the mids just sound dope, man. I give that a thumbs up. Yeah, sure, send it. And I also want to see if you guys have any questions regarding to anything we talked about today.
I need to stop this group chat. Delete conversation. There we go. I don't want people to like. I always hate making group chats. I had to do it though. I made sure to delete it though, so you guys don't keep getting fucking notifications every goddamn 5 minutes. It's the most goddamn annoying thing.
Is this the? Was it Empath? Is it this one? Which one?
Try
is
that.
It?
Yeah.
No, it's Doppelganger.
Yeah. Fuck it. Just go. Just do a couple. Fuck it. Don't be mad if you don't like what I have to say, though.
Yeah, I mean, if you ask for critiques, you gotta be willing to, I'm
not gonna be a dick by any means, but
if it's dark, I'm actually more prone to be a fan, because I'm very a big fan of minimal dubstep and what they tagged as fucking rhythm, which I'll choke you if you actually use that.
I fucking use rhythm. I love rhythm, dude. That shit's sick.
Fucking rhythm, bro. Rhythm. Okay, give me a one.
Oh god.
It's a doppel. Oh well, it's self-patronic, so if you fuck this up, I'm really gonna fucking be harsh on you. Mainly because Corey's a buddy of mine. Like we just Skyped 3 days ago, so I'm gonna hear it. Let's see if you fucked it up.
Oh god.
It's one of the oldest songs. Yeah, I chop the shit out of that. But my thing is with a lot of rhythm producers is whether or not their mix is good.
Yeah, because you have to double drop like everything. Chop and
Because
shit.
a lot of the drums are a lot weaker, so it never sounds quite right.
I will say this, maybe more prominent in the snare area, you know what I mean? I feel like it could be punchier on the snare.
Yeah, the attack, it's kind of light, and then because the bass is
well, not only that, I don't even know if there is there a snare or is it
it
just
has
a
so
clap?
much it has so much low end that the high end on the snare isn't really heard. And it's more like a finger snap, which I know Subs used to do that back in the day. He doesn't anymore. The low end sounds dope, but you know my thing against it is gonna be the mix, you know, which the mix usually takes a lot of time getting used to. With the snares, man, it's all about having a good sample. If you don't have a good sample from the start, don't even use it.
Okay, I guarantee if you were to pull that snare up on a Spectrum analyzer, it would be hitting a lot more in the higher frequencies.
Yeah.
It's good. Like what you have there is it is good, but you need to add maybe another sound that's gonna get just a little bit of punch in the lower mid-range area.
Just a quick snap.
Yeah, just because it doesn't have that like power. Like it has the crunch, but it doesn't have the fucking like the thump that you want the snare to have. Because the kick in the snare needs to really kind of be like fucking flowing. You know what I mean?
Snares usually are elements of different kinds of sounds.
Because like right now it's kind of like, but where you want it to be like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Like. The synths are really good though. I think it's choppable, and I think
I would chop the shit out of it.
Yeah,
but also I would also empower you to like start thinking more about your flow, and switching up the sound, maybe a little bit variation from the first 8 bars of a section to the second 8 bars of a section. Start adding like little variation and maybe a break in the drums to kind of break up how monotonous the tune is. Because your style's cool, man. You know, don't get me wrong. You did a decent job on the track itself. But the thing is that you're doing exactly what we were doing back in 2011, 2010. Which is keeping the flow really consistent. So it becomes really repetitive versus breaking it up. And rhythm is really like a style of dubstep that's really kind of one of those things you gotta learn to master. Even the drums, we got criticized by, artists like Megalodon and, a lot of the homies that I'm cool with now of how weak the drums were. And playing it live, it just doesn't have the force that usual dubstep artists and every other sound would use, So I would say, try to break it up. Try to break it up a little bit. And not too much, man. Don't get me wrong. I make the same sound. I lived with Ben's Mixer, and I was there when, the square wave sound was fucking created. So I know this sound inside and out. But just try to give it a bit more structure. Even Ben's Mixer's doing it. His song isn't very repetitive, or not as repetitive as it used to be.
Yeah, I mean, me at this point, he's against it, but I haven't written in 140 at all recently. He's against it for mixing purposes, but it kind of ties into that because I one thing's for sure with my music, I definitely keep the flow changing a lot, and it's fast. It's 150 to like 160 right now, so it's changing a lot. You know what I mean? And that's good because every like 16 bars, you just kind of want people to be like, oh shit, you know what I mean? Just kind of like because like you don't want them to. You want to keep surprising them. Yeah. You know what I mean?
And for people like Aimless, I would say go out and listen to some of the guys that were here 5-6 years ago, between Blood Thinners, Khalil, myself, fucking, a lot of the fucking good, I would say, quote unquote, rhythm producers, because what you're hearing is really like it's still like very old school 2010 2011 style, because it is an oversaturated sound. You got to find the guys who were doing it for a while who fucking broke up the monotony. There's a lot of good shit happening in the scene right now.
And another tip for you there too is on that snare, make sure you try to find that sweet spot around like 250 hertz. You know, get a little sweet spot, because I feel like that's what's missing. I really do think it's around that 250 hertz. It's give or take for each snare, so you're going to have to pull up a spectrum analyzer and kind of really see where that sweet spot is, but it should be around 250 somewhere. And make sure that, you know, some people don't necessarily do this. I like to EQ that area out of my bass sounds and synths and stuff like that a little bit, just to kind of leave a little bit more room for it, for that
and I'll
punch.
toss in a song that I made recently just to give you an example of what I'm talking about, because it doesn't all have to be the same. It's a wide range of sound that creates that one genre that you're talking about.
Yeah. Okay, so what did we have another Aimless
Let's do
Aimless. He's got one. Yeah, he's got some good stuff. And then we got, alright, fuck it, we'll keep this going for a little bit, I guess.
I'm at like 7%, so I gotta plug in my charger.
Oh damn. Okay, well he's at 7%, so how about this? Once that shit dies, we're done, okay? Oh god. This is Aimless. Jump on it. Can you look at the waveform?
This style, you know, as cool as it is or whatever to some people, I really hate it. I don't like tear out at all.
You don't? I love tear out. I personally enjoy it.
I don't like the trench tear out sound at all.
Well, if you're not into the particular sound, maybe focus more on the drums and
yeah, the production and everything like this.
The kick, I think the snare's definitely punchier in this song than the last song. You can actually hear, yeah, see that, like, you can't, it's probably hard to hear on this, but you can hear that, that, like, thud behind the snare, you know what I mean?
Yeah, which is good. Cool effects. Cool idea.
Oh, there you go. There's some like grime vibes for you. You might win him back.
Well, okay, so here's my beef against that sound is that I'm not a big fan of the growly, tear out, trench kind of sound or whatever. I never was. That's just me. Some people don't like minimal. Some people don't like rhythm. I just kind of feel like the sound is a bit overkill, too distorted. But then again, I come from the punk and hardcore era. That's like asking me about death metal and grindcore, which is probably something that you're into. I notice a lot of kids from that side of the spectrum usually are the death step producers or whatever. Fucking a lot of heavy metal heads, Pulse.
I used to be a metalhead. If you don't believe me, I will fucking go and find my ID where I have hair this fucking long, dude.
Yeah, exactly. What I will say about that style, though, is, I like the mix down. I like the ideas you had, like the, that one little fucking weird thing that you did with that fucking sound and panned it from left to right. Your break idea is cool. I like the transition points and the way you transition. But for me, just the fucking basses are what kill it. It's a bit overkill, and I kind of feel like if you look at the trend where dubstep has been, every time dubstep gets too heavy, there's a quick dive off, and the sound dies a lot quicker. That's why minimal has been around for like fucking from the start, and it hasn't changed much, and people vibe with it, and it's always going to be a thing because the culture behind it has grew. It's not too fucking...
I will say this though, the fans that you do have are typically probably a little bit more passionate because those are the people, like, for we all went to metal shows, and we've all been in a small pit or a room with like 50 people at a metal show. Yeah. You know what I mean?
It's a lot of energy. Yeah. And I have Like fucking, you know, and I told Trollface the same thing because I known Damon for a long time. Actually, if it wasn't for me, he wouldn't have been producing for a little bit because I did him a favor while I was deployed, you know, looking out for a homie who was homeless at the time. So he turned into an egotistical prick, whatever, that's him. You know, but I told him the same shit. So it's nothing against you. I just never really like the bass sounds. It's a little overkill in my opinion.
I, on the other hand, do, but then again, those things are up to, you know, debate.
And that's Ben's mixer calling me. Yo, what's good, Benny boy? I'm actually right now on a Twitch session. It's funny that you called in because I was talking about you like 10 minutes ago. Yeah, you know, we got a little crowd here going or whatever. You know, I was just we were giving out advice, you know, to some of these guys who are producing and stuff like that, you know. But what's good? What happened? Oh yeah, go ahead, get the trial on that. I'll see what's up later. True, dope, man. Okay, so then I'll try it later. I'll fucking sync it and everything, and you know, see how it is. Maybe I'll get it next month. True. Well, I might have a bit of time tonight if you're trying to get on the Skype team. All right, I'll hit you up in a bit. All right, G. All right, later.
Alright, do the lunar. Didn't we already do Empath? Did we do Empath yet? No, I don't think we did him yet. Let's get him and then do Lunar Dash and then we're cutting it, okay? We're only at 4% now too, so we're gonna try to get through the last two a little bit faster if we can. Blue Lambo. Okay.
Snare's a bit overkill, too much to it. So it's gonna be a heavy one. I like this intro, that's funny.
I already hear it.
Serum rhythm. Yeah. I don't mind the sound, it's just a little. Notes is a little all over the place, but I like it. A little too much low and then some of the sounds on the mids.
Yeah, like,
yeah, it has a little too much on the low end. I think I got enough there. Okay, so here's my thing about the track, right? Not bad. It seems I would say you're probably a little newer at this. I would assume anyway. But for mixing and everything, focus on your mix down. Go get some. Go watch some. Okay, so there's a brilliant guy, audio engineer, massive credits in the industry with music in general. Watch his videos. It's what's the video? Something's Place. Something's Place. The guy's name's Place. About mixed. There's a guy who does mix downs on fucking YouTube with Place in the title. Mixed down Place. Something a name's Place. Anyways, this guy has been in the industry for a while. I don't know if you're gonna be able to find him, but he gives a lot of fucking advice about mixdowns. I would just focus on that. The general idea is, it's pretty cool. Could use a little bit of variety, but over time that will come to you, man. Start learning transitions, maybe some leads in there and stuff. Other than that, focus on learning Serum and your mix downs and stuff like that. And
are you in Serum?
I would say I think he is. I would say it definitely sounds.
Are you in Serum?
Either that or Massive.
I have a feeling that he is in Serum. The reason I ask is if you are in Serum, I do streams inside of there and creating wavetables and stuff like that. That could potentially help with that as well. Reason and Massive. Okay. Well, who knows? Maybe Rilla will do some Reason. He's in Reason.
Yeah,
some Reason stuff.
Fucking...
I know Massive in and out, but I don't use it anymore. I haven't touched it since I got Serum. I literally haven't touched it in like 8 months. And I probably won't ever touch it again. Like I love Massive, but the thing is it's
out of date.
It's out of date. I mean, I love it.
It's like for your
but
workflow.
The thing is you can't make wavetables, and it's just a killer for me, man. Because every wavetable in that fucking synth has been beat to the ground.
Yeah, pretty much.
Beat to the fucking ground. The nice thing that I like about Serum is you can make your own wavetable. You can literally there's literally endless possibility there. It's even hard for me to imagine a synth that could be better than that, honestly. And when they do make one, I'm gonna be like, holy fuck, I'm getting old.
Well, I mean, okay. Well, here's the thing: is that they do have better ones, but they're just called FM synthesizers.
Well, you can do FM synth. You can do FM synth.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same.
You
shit.
can do FM synthesis inside of Serum too.
Yeah.
So
it's pretty much the same shit. Fucking waveform manipulation.
By the way, I don't know why I still have these. So yeah, I mean, I did like it. What my take on it is, I feel like there's a lot of. It feels a little slow to me. Just the rhythm is kind of slow. Like, it's good because like if you're trying to get this at a show, but the thing is if you're gonna play a show, like you're in this, people are gonna go smoke cigarettes really fast.
Yeah, exactly. My thing is that that's not bad. You're doing the 1/4 method, and that's not bad. But when you are doing that, it cannot just be a simple boom, pat, snare. You can't just boom, pat, boom, pat. The whole kick snare fucking motion the whole time. Either you gotta have some rhythm in your hats and your kick flowing to a different kind of moving people. With different ideas and breaking up the monotony by doing breaks and then adding a lead out of nowhere. There's a lot that rhythm needs to incorporate, not to be fucking a basic 1/4 rhythm track. So you got to keep those things in mind. A lot of us are using 1/8 now, doing one-shot sort of bass lines that help out with the flow and everything of your track.
Yeah, like the thing I would say about that song is it's not a bad song, but I would never play it by itself. I would have to like double drop that or something.
Exactly.
Because the energy would not be
1%.
high enough. However, it's not necessary. That song could be good depending on what kind of set you're playing or what kind of crowd it's for. I'm just using a reference for what my experience is for the shows that I've played. Is typically, you want to start it off soft, so maybe you could kind of start it off a little soft like that.
My big beef against what a lot of producers are doing, and here's a big one, is get away from using a chorus to swing, back and forth all the time, because when you got that motion where it's just like wah, 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 it's very fucking monotonous.
People are used to hearing that.
Yeah, so that should be like a sound that comes in at the beginning, like wah, wah, and then just have a single shot bass after. 1/8 basses to get the fucking flow moving a little quicker. So
16th notes, triplets, whatever.
Yeah, exactly. I mean? But you got to take away the fucking swing on it, and single shot it in a specific way to get away from that basic rhythm sound.
Well, the thing that I've been doing too that I think you can kind of get away with doing that is if you're gonna do that,
just
layers. Do layers. Because if you have one going wah, wah, and you have triplets going on top of that of another bass layer, it's gonna sound more exciting. But there's got to be either more going on in that one synth, or you got to layer it with others, because it's gonna you're gonna lose people quick if you do it. But it is good. The sound quality is there. I think if you take a little bit more time on it and focus and wait a little bit longer.
Here's my thing, because I kind of feel like you might be one of the producers, as I was in the beginning. I used to spend, and people's workflow is different, but in the beginning, spend all your time just fucking making the bass line, get rid of the low end so you can at least hear what you're doing, and just lay down the fucking idea first. Engineer it later. Focus on the mix down later. Usually people start off fresh with a fresh idea in their mind of what they want to do, and the quicker you get it from out of your mind into the computer and lay it down, you're more apt to have that better idea laid out how you want it to. And then you can focus all the technical shit later, you know?
And, this is going to be a perfect example of how everybody is different, because that might work for a lot of people really well. For me, I'm the kind of person, when I go into a song, I don't even think of anything in my head. Basically, what I'll do is I'll just keep going until I kind of, start vibing with whatever I got going on and proceed from there. You know what I mean? So there's not necessarily a right or a wrong way, but you need to find what's working with you. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And as I said, everyone's workflow is different, you know. But I would challenge you to at least try that. And my laptop died, but I would challenge you. By the way, you could get back on there because it's not it was the microphone, remember? But anyways, I would challenge you to try that and see if it works better with you as far as the idea goes. And are you going back to the Twitch?
Yeah. Twitch, there it is.
Aside from that, man, do you guys have any actual questions pertaining to what we were talking about earlier? Someone asked what a good transient shaper was. I can't really answer that because I haven't used a transient shaper since I went to school for audio engineering, which, by the way, I went to Full Sail University and got my degree in recording arts. But the thing that you want to do is just go search, man. There's tons of them. Go read up reviews and stuff like that. I haven't used some since I was in school because a lot of my work is done in Reason. And back then, Reason didn't have any transient shapers, and now they have things which are similar, but they aren't transient shapers, and they're rack extensions, so it's just a bit different. I don't know which ones. Do you know of any good transient shapers?
I just use the morph tool in Ableton. Time warp. I just time warp. It's basically the same kind of thing, so I don't actually use a plugin for it. Yeah,
all the same shit.
Yeah.
It's just a simple knob that does.
Yeah, and Ableton, basically, you can basically do it all visually, and that's the way I prefer to do it.
Go to the stream because I don't know.
Oh yeah. Here we go. Okay, how do you meet people locally? Nobody in Vegas is into dubstep. Basically do it all visually, and that's the way I prefer to do it. I know for a fact that there's a fucking scene in Vegas, okay? Okay, how do you meet people locally? Nobody in Vegas is into dubstep. Basically do it all visually, and that's the way I prefer to do it. I know for a fact that there's a fucking scene that's probably not going to be very... Okay, how do you meet people locally? Nobody in Vegas is into dubstep. Basically do it all visually, and that's the way I prefer to do it. I know for a fact that there's a fucking scene that's probably not going to be very... Okay, how do you meet people locally? Nobody in Vegas is into dubstep. Basically do it all.
Did you plug in the speaker or something? What are you talking about? Mute audio? I don't know. Oh, on the stream?
I already did. No, I just did. Echo again.
Oh, back. So my thing is dead, so we pretty much...
Yeah, so we can't review any more tracks, unfortunately, because it's feedback from my speaker.
We can't answer questions. So I just exit it, and then I guess that's it for the stream.
What was I talking about before that? Oh no, he had a question. No, he did have a question. He can hear us now. It's good now. So how do you meet people locally? Find out who the local promoter is that's doing shows. There is people in Vegas. Trust me. Look it up. I will even do you a favor and look it up for you right now. I'm not even kidding.
Are you talking about SEO?
No, he's talking about meeting people locally.
No. I'm talking about somebody asked a question. Are you? You're asking me to speak more about SEL? I think you're talking about SEO. Is it about the search engine optimization and how to get viewed? Let me know, because after he's done talking about this, I'll talk a little more about that.
So let's see. You know, type in dubstep in Las Vegas. Find out where the fuck there's dubstep. You know, there's gotta be places where there's fucking dubstep. I feel like it was like a mini version of EDC when I went in, but I'm not into EDM or dubstep a whole lot, so the majority of the time. So it looks like the Marquee has some dubstep there. You need to find out who these promoters are, and every fucking promoter company out there is going to have a street team. And they're not very picky.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
And you might get yourself free into it.
Yeah, and you get free entry, too. So, I mean, if you're the kind of person that's like, fuck, I don't have a girlfriend. Fuck, I don't want to stay home tonight. I don't have friends. You can fucking, you can go get free entry into an event. At the same time, yeah, you're going to have to be putting in work. You're going to have to be going out, hanging up posters. You're going to have to be going out, hanging out flyers and stuff like that. I'm doing that myself right now for a local company here. You know, it's what you have to do to basically meet people, locally anyway. And at that point, you, like I said again, you start developing those relationships with them. You get to know them on a more personal level, and that's when you can kind of start introducing your music. Don't ever just walk up to the owner of a promotion company who you've never done any work for before, that's local anyway, and be like, hey, book me for your show. I can sell this many tickets. Or some shit like that, because they don't give a fuck, dude.
And if you fail, you just ruined your rep.
Yeah, and then they will never book you again. Okay?
Exactly.
And like I said, I've been around for a while. I've burned plenty of bridges. Okay. it's
sometimes you got to learn how to fail.
Yeah. I didn't have a fucking person doing a live stream notifying me of all this shit.
Of these do's and
okay.
don'ts.
So learn from mistakes that are made on our end. You know, nothing's non-recoverable, of course. You know that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the most important thing, is you need to be involved, and the best way to get involved locally is street team. By far, best thing you can do.
Well, for Lunar, for you men, just wait until you are 18, or look for promoters who are doing 16 plus events for you, and then go to those shows. Let me see who else we got here. Okay, so SEO. SEO, you could do a lot of research just by going online on YouTube and just clicking SEO marketing and just listening to some of the people that are on there. What's the guy that I fucking watch a lot? It's Com Mirza is one good guy. But SEO is pretty much just the language of Google Hummingbird, which you could also just do a quick search on Google Hummingbird and find out a ton of information, and the information is endless. The thing about SEO, it's not something that you could just go to college and learn. There are no colleges that actually formally teach SEO. So it's something that it's online based, and it's very real and very true, a real thing, because Google's search engine language is essentially that. Aside from that, SEO is just the way to keep yourself ranking when people are looking up certain things on the internet, and you might actually come up.
Think of it like this: there's a board from 0 to 100. Okay.
Yeah. And the more of these things you learn,
the top content creators. The thing is with this kind of stuff is it's like you're gonna be competing with the content creators in your genre,
and on the internet
in general.
Exactly.
Okay. So you got to keep that in mind. You're not stop if you want to be successful and actually create a career out of your music. You need to stop thinking of it like, yes, you don't have to sell out and stop making what you love to make, but you need to start thinking of your music as more of a product. You need to start thinking of yourself as less of an artist and more of a brand, and things that can help improve that.
Exactly. Because here's the thing: is that people think that, here's the thing. If you don't want to be a starving artist, SEO and marketing is the way to go, because it's pretty much the way you market yourself on the internet and get seen and funnel people into your to your website to buy your product or buy your service, or go to your YouTube to find YouTube videos, or to find your Facebook page to be funneled to ultimately buy a t-shirt or something like that, or buy your service, which is mastering, whatever you could come up with, right? SEO is the language, is the way you get seen, and marketing is the way you market to the world, right? But the thing about SEO and marketing is that if you don't want to be a starving artist, that's all you have to know to make niche websites in relation to what you do and what you love, rank so that people see it, and you could sell these, have a higher turnover rate online of doing online sales or online transactions, you know. So you don't have to be an artist that's just going out there and traveling the world to pretty much, you know, make a living off of your music. You can also be the guy who sells sample packs. And the guys who sell sample packs know a shit ton about SEO and marketing. They have to, especially if they're just selling it from their website. The thing is about that, you could go on for days, because SEO is a very wide range of things you could do with SEO. SEO is also like, you know, you could be learning how to. Are crews, collectives, and management agencies realistically valuable?
Yes.
Yes, valuable in terms of money.
These are the people that are going to be booking you.
Yes.
These are the people that are going to be having connections to be booking you. If you care, if what you want to do is play shows, and you want to get out.
It also depends. Okay, here's what I will say. It also depends on which avenue you want to take. Because let's say, for agencies, collectives, and crews, it also depends. If you want to be an independent artist, kind of like how Wizkerz is, he likes, he doesn't go to record labels. It's kind of the same avenue there. You might not need an agent to go out there and get you shows, and you want to build the connections with the booking agents, the people who do the bookings yourself. You can take that avenue if you'd like. But if you're not very social, like, for instance, Ben's Mixer, he's a very socially awkward person. He needs agents who are going to go out there and scout for him, promoters who are going to book him. You know, okay, for crews, if you're a starting artist, I would say yes, absolutely. Crews are very valuable. You learn off of each other, you promote each other, and you gain a following through those people. It could be a monetary gain too, because you can then turn those followers into people who will buy your products, like t-shirts.
Yeah, and I'll bounce off that. Like, it's good for early, but I think late, as things go on, it's going to hold you back.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the thing, is it's like, how do you know when to say goodbye? How, it's going to be like, you're going to eventually kind of have to leave.
Yeah.
And, I hate to say it, because it's like, that would be great. You might be able to pull it off, but 9 out of 10 crews that I've seen come up, like, they're already disbanded, or,
here's the thing that crews aren't doing. What people don't realize in crews is that you're not just a fucking collective of people that's just fucking collaborating and sending shit together. You're all running your own brand as a crew, and eventually you got to turn into a record label to get to the next level. If you're not turning into a record label and pushing out your own music, and getting your own your own distribution deal with a distribution company out there like Cygnus, to go and sell your music on Beatport and shit, there's really no point to even being a crew, because you're just sitting there just sharing shit for no reason, you know what I mean? And then you all fucking plateau and you can't get more following, and that's when it starts holding you back. Unless you start doing crews, you guys know that what's Hench used to be a crew. It was Hench Crew. The Hench guys, and then they turned into a record label. Then Monsters, and Monsters turned into a record label. Then Hard Drive, and Hard Drive turned into a record label. Gremlins, Savage Society turned into a record label. That's the big end goal for these crews.
And if you're not making that jump, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
It's not. And the thing is I've actually have a lot of friends that are into metal bands and stuff like that, and I tell them this all the time. I like to joke with them, and I'm like, the one thing that I like about not having an entire band to worry about and everything like that is, you don't ever have to rely on anybody else for your success.
Yeah, exactly.
And you want to be able to create that for yourself. Now, for me, for instance, since I don't have this massive list of show promoters that I'm in contact with, I have a manager that I will be switching over to very soon that will have those connections that will be able to help with that. So for some people, it's good. For others, it's not. For me,
you gotta weigh your pros and cons, and also I noticed in the music industry, I don't know why the hell this connotation came around where as if agency hires you. No, agency doesn't fucking hire you. It's not like they're creating the product. They're only going out there and selling it, right? So you're the product. You hire an agency to sell it, and you give them a cut. That's the way the music industry has always been. If you don't like one agent, you fire them and you go to the next. You're the person in charge in that relationship. If you don't want to play a show, you don't play it. It's not like they book a show for you and you have to play it.
You're making them money, but you have to make it worth it for them to work with you, basically.
Yeah.
And a lot of the time, that stuff once you're big enough, will come down to connections and things like that. Like, I would have never even met this person if it wasn't for Rilla, you know what I mean? And that's kind of how,
homie, we film.
that's kind of how things just kind of work out, you know what I mean? And yeah, so it's just don't rush it, never rush it, because when you rush things, you make stupid decisions, you hurt yourself. You know what I mean? You're not in a fucking hurry, you know? You're still fucking young. I'm 24. I'm still fucking young. There's still youth. You know, you don't rush it. Take your time and let it grow into a beautiful fucking flower. Yeah,
exactly.
You know,
and you might come up into that situation where you join a crew and things kind of plateau and it's time to move on. Well, bro, it's happened in the past. It'll happen again. It happened with Jam PRD. He was originally Gremlins, then he went to Hard Drive, and then he was both in Gremlins and Hard Drive, and then he left and now he's solo. And then you had Bodex, who was originally Monsters, who over time just went to Hench Records. And it happens, man. Nothing is ever solid and set in stone, and if one situation ends, there's always the next to take you to the next level.
And try to not burn bridges as you go, though. It's hard because sometimes feelings are tied to it, and you know, if you tell someone you're leaving a crew, and it's like, you know, I can understand that, but you gotta let them know it's the right thing for you. And it's not, you know, because you're not doing this for anybody else, you know, other than because you like music and that's what you want to do. So you got to do what's best for you, you know?
Let's talk about if you guys want to be living on money, right? Or living on music, right? Listen, guys, if you don't look up and read things like the entrepreneurial mindset, like, you got to understand, man, if you're going out there and you want to be a successful artist and this is not a hobby, you are an entrepreneur, you know. So learn how to think like entrepreneurs think, you know. Like, as an entrepreneur, man, you got to be a resourceful person. A lot of people give up on music and chasing their dream because they don't know how to fucking, you know. All entrepreneurs are problem solvers, man. That's at the very root of what an entrepreneur is a problem solver. Right? So I hear a lot of people bitching and complaining and be like, oh, you know, I haven't gotten a release in years and I've been doing this and doing that. Well, nothing's entitled to you in this scene, right? So no one's got to do anything for you. That's the bottom line. So if that's a problem in your music career, why don't you go out there, create a Bandcamp, create a bomb-ass fucking album and release it yourself. Learn how to market, learn how to SEO, be a problem solver and be resourceful and get yourself to the next level, because that is the biggest thing. Like, I could sit here all day talking about that, but be resourceful. You don't know how to do something, find someone that does. You know, and learn off of them, and just solve problems, man, and you'll continue to move forward and grow as an artist. That's what entrepreneurs do.
And I think that is a good place to wrap up the stream, guys. Yeah. That is a lot longer than I originally anticipated, so there you go, soak it in. Unfortunately, I missed like the first 10 minutes of that before I started recording, but the rest of it I'm going to upload to my YouTube channel. If you do want the link, I can go ahead and forward you to the YouTube channel. If you would like the link and you do end up going to the YouTube channel, all I ask is shoot a quick little subscribe or whatever, you know what I mean, show the appreciation. And you'll see more videos along the lines of this, music production videos, things of that nature.
Yes. Also, you know, show some love on my behalf. All you got to do is look up Rilla Dubs on Facebook. 2 different words, Rilla space DUBZ. Give a like, give a follow. I'll probably be doing something similar in the future with my own take on it. Mainly probably on YouTube. You know, I feel like YouTube might be able to monetize it a bit better. But who knows? Maybe Twitch is better. I don't know. I haven't used Twitch. I don't know how Twitch works. So we'll see. SoundCloud is /Rilla Dubs. Facebook /Rilla Dubs. Leave me some love and some messages, man. I'm always open to answer questions.
And yes, I will have more Serum videos coming on the channel soon here. I don't think I have any currently, but I have full intention of making those. So, cheerio, guys. Big up. Have a good evening. Ciao.